And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, happy early Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are going to eat some good food. Don't get too drunk. Y'all please be responsible out there. But we got a whole lot of topics going on tonight. The car explosion in New York State, Niagara Falls. What was that all about? Was it a terror attack? Was it simply a crash? Did someone go Dukes of Hazzard and fail on the landing? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Javier Milei has become the president of Argentina. They want to call him a far-right libertarian. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, GOP House Rep George Santos got caught doing some things he probably shouldn't have been doing, allegedly, according to an ethics report. And the things that he's doing aren't that much different than what a lot of other people in Congress have done, but they're able to get away with it. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the military says, hey, man, if you were discharged because you didn't want to get a vax, it's water under the bridge. Don't worry about it. Let's let bygones be bygones. Come on back to the service. We're going to talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Happy early Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys enjoy your holiday. If you're traveling, please be safe. Eat plenty of good food. Have a good time. But shout out to you guys for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to you guys over on the Facebooks. Okay, I think I got the Facebook game mastered. Shout out to John and Derek. Thank you for being here already on Facebook. I think I got it. So we're not going to have any technical difficulties this time. We should be good to go. All righty. So shout out to you guys for being here. We got a whole lot to talk about. The car explosion. What was it? It was crazy. They were talking about it was a terror attack right away. Instantly. Didn't know anything about anything. Had no footage, no nothing. Just, okay. CBS News put out a report that it was going to be a terror attack. And then 2 days later, a car crash happens and the car blows up right by the bridge to go from Niagara Falls, U.S. to Niagara Falls, Canada. And it's a terror attack. I mean, really, really, really irresponsible journalism, in my humble opinion, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. I digress. We're going to get into a whole lot. We're going to get into that story about that lady that got the BBL and breast implants at age 65 over in Mexico. That was a story that was kind of funny because of some of the comments. People didn't even watch the video. Within the first 90 seconds, I said that you can get bot surgeries anywhere, but people commented, oh, you think you can't get bot surgeries in the U.S.? It's like, let's watch the video. But again, I'm getting way ahead of myself. We're going to get into all those topics and a whole lot more. I got a lot of videos for you guys that I've not shown on the show yet as an individual thing. Before we get to any of that, shout out to the sponsors, as always. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser and tell them ABL sent you. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. We have articles for each video that I produce. And in the articles, you'll be able to find sources from the left, right, independent, politically agnostic, whatever you want. It'll be right there. Full videos, things I may not be able to post in their entirety on YouTube will be right there on the website. If you're ever saying, hey, ABL, let's hurry it up, man, get straight to it. Everything's right there on the website for free. You can just go there, find what you want, and you get money in and out. All right. I respect your time, so I got that resource for you. And if you go to the contact page on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact, you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, not going to call it X, Instagram. All that good stuff is right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. Also, as I always say, If you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me on the internet or not, the first clue is I'm not going to talk to you about how some kind of get rich quick scheme. I'm not going to tell you to invest money. I promise. I say this all the time on every live stream, and I still get emails from some of y'all. Hey, ABL, you told me to send 5,000 Bitcoin to somebody named Abdullah Hakim in Lagos, Nigeria. Can I get a return on that? Can I get my money back? It's like, do I look like my name is Hakeem Nassif? I'm not that guy you talking to on this internet. Somebody may have my picture and a name that looks similar to me, but it's not me. Please don't get scammed in 2023. Ain't nobody got no time for that. Ain't nobody got no time for no 8,500-pound Lithuanian hacker laying on their ground. And ain't nobody got no time for somebody living 15 deep in a little small box over in Africa scamming you. Don't nobody got no time for that. So please be careful. Don't give out your personal financial information, where you live, all that kind of stuff on the internet to random people that you see in comment sections. Don't do it. And if you do it, hey, do it at your own risk. It's not my fault when things go wrong. If somebody in the comment says, hey, man, send me $1 million and I'll give you a $500 return, and you do it, that's on you, your risk. But I'm advising you as your friend, as your uncle, whatever I am, I'm advising you to not do it. All right. Now, we got a lot going on. We have a whole lot happening here. Where am I going to begin? I'm not even really sure. Shout out to you guys for joining. I really, really appreciate y'all. We're going to get into a lot of what has been happening. I got a few things that I may need to do for like a separate video. I may need to do that for a separate video because I got a lot of stories that have been breaking over the past few hours here. We're going to get into a lot. I'm going to start with a few good clips that I have seen. Oh, this is a good one right here. Shout out to End Wokeness. This is going to be a very good one. I'm going to play some Trump derangement syndrome stuff from MS-13 DNC. I'm going to play quite a bit for you guys. I got something very interesting from the Pope. The Pope, you know, shout out to my main man over there in Tyler, Texas, the bishop. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shout out to him. He got demoted from being a bishop down to, I guess, the priest for criticizing the Pope heavily and a few other things, of course, criticizing the church. But when I show you this particular video, you're going to understand why he did that and a whole lot more. All right. So y'all hang tight. We're going to get into it. And if you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. Now, you know what? One thing I kind of want to almost start with is how people were trying to attack Kanye West, or I don't want to say attack. That might not be the correct word in this particular instance. I think maybe what I want to say is that people were trying to say that Kanye West was somehow just mentally disabled or some kind of he wasn't right. He's crazy, all kind of stuff. He's saying things that don't make any sense. And I think Kanye, to me, in my opinion, he's like a guy that traveled to the future, or he traveled to the past from the future, and he's speaking as if he's in the future. A lot of the things he says, if you can kind of just look through all the other stuff, makes a lot of sense. One thing he said about one person, Harley Pasternak. Remember that whole thing about it was this guy trying to send him back to the mental hospital and all this and that, and people just want to dismiss him like, oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. Now, I'm going to show you this here. All right. I'm going to just read this particular text that came out that people said Kanye West was crazy for, and then I'm going to give you an update to show that maybe he wasn't crazy. Maybe sometimes when people say things you really don't understand, just kind of pay attention and you might be able to get some legitimate truth and sense from it. So here's the text. I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based in fact and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Now, this is the guy Harley talking to Kanye, and if you don't understand what's happening, I'm going to bring it on home in just 1 minute. Y'all hang tight. This was a text that came out a while ago that Kanye had mentioned. Let's continue. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. Now, Kanye said, hey, this guy's threatening me. He's trying to get me back to the mental hospital, all this and that. People just dismissed it. Oh, Kanye's crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Mentally disabled. He needs to get back on meds. That's what they said. But here we have this guy stalking him in Dubai. This is from Daily Mail. This is not Kanye putting it out. This is Daily Mail releasing the footage. This is the guy, Harley Pasternak, stalking Kanye in Dubai. You got to understand, once you get to a certain level of money and status and fame and success, crazy things begin to happen to you. Crazy things. You may see somebody say certain things or react a certain way, and it's hard for you to really fathom it because I have no idea what it's like to have the kind of money or status that Kanye West has. So I don't know what he's dealing with. And this is the same thing with a lot of these evil people. I think somebody said it. It might have been Charleston White. It says that evil lives up there. It'll play around down in the muck and the mire, but evil really lives up high. It's some crazy things that go on. People get stalked, harassed. Remember when Kanye West's wife got like almost abducted in France? How does that even happen? Once you get to a certain level, things get really, really, really crazy. That's right, Miss Hayes. The parasites come out. I see the camera right there. Now he's getting nervous. So, yeah, maybe at a certain point, when you're talking about Kanye and a lot of these guys, Elon even as well, maybe they're not crazy or mentally disabled. Maybe they're dealing with some very serious things once you get to a certain level of prominence. We all know about Bill Gates. We all know about these people that were at that dinner with Xi Jinping. We know about all these people, the Black Rocks and everybody else, how evil they can be. Well, imagine if you're not evil, but you're up there with these guys. What can be done to you to corrupt you? It's crazy world that we live in, but I'm going to keep on rocking and rolling. Now, I have another video that's pretty good. Okay, I got to get straight to it. The Pope. Let's get straight to the Pope. Speaking about people up high doing crazy things or things that are kind of, I guess you would say, a little different. Let's talk about the Pope. All right, we got to get into it. Now, the Pope has been criticized heavily for some things he's done as of late. And I think rightfully so, because it's like, all right, Pope, like, what are we doing? What's going on here? A lot of the things that he's doing are not liked very well. It's just not really a good look for the Pope. Let me just get straight to what I'm talking about without belaboring the point. Now, what he did was host a group of transgenders for a Vatican luncheon. All right. Now, I'm going to just read this straight from the Associated Press, AP. Many of the people that were invited, the transgenders, are Latin American migrants, and they work as ex-workers, if you understand what I'm saying. If you catch my drift, if you're able to pick it up when I'm dropping down, all right? This is who the Pope invited to the Vatican. Let's put it on the screen right quick. And if you like what you're hearing, y'all know what to do. Let's keep on rolling. You see it. This is Associated Press. I'm not making this up. This is not fake news. Ain't no fake news over here. We don't do that. You see what it says? Transgender women go to lunch with Pope Francis. Oh, yeah. Your Catholic church. Yeah. And shout out to the Catholics. I don't think you guys like this too much. I don't think you guys like this too much, which is why the bishop in Tyler, Texas was critical of the Pope. Like, what are we doing here? If you want to be trans, elemental, whatever, okay, that's your business. But at a certain point, shouldn't the church kind of be above this kind of stuff?
Hello. Ay, no, vos te la querés comer hasta el ¿no? Okay.
So you see what's going on here. These are like invitations written in Italian. All right. There you have it. There's your big dog right there, right in the midst. So how do you guys feel about that? If you guys are Catholic or not religious or whatever it is, how do you guys feel about this? The trans luncheon. How do you feel about that? Like, what's your take on it? I mean, I don't know. I think at a certain point, if you're part of the church, you should kind of be above that kind of thing. You should be held to a higher standard. Just like when I see some of these minister guys, you know, it was one guy. I don't want to name his name right now. Maybe I'll do that on a different time. But there was one guy. Well, it's a lot of guys, but one very famous guy who used to be at a church in Baltimore and is now in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in Georgia. This guy was married with kids and had a baby with a lady in the congregation and had to get run out of Baltimore and had to go to Atlanta or somewhere in Georgia. It's like, my man, it's bad enough to cheat on your wife and have a baby on her, but then you're like the pastor of a mega church and you do something like that. Like, you're supposed to be above it. But hey, maybe I'm just old fashioned. Maybe I'm just old fashioned and I'm saying things that are just kind of passe. And we don't really do that anymore, I suppose, right? I guess that's kind of what's going on. But we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's keep on going here. We got a lot actually happening. We have a lot happening. Here's one story I wanted to cover. I'm not quite sure that I'll do a video on it, but this is something that was pretty funny to me. Now, y'all know I always say blame the white man, right? Blame the white man. Now, here's a story that I really wanted to just bring up because of my running joke with you guys about blaming the white man. So the Marvels flopped. Okay, now I got me clicking on ads. I don't want to click on ads. But the Marvels flopped. The movie, they brought in about $170 million at the box office. But let's put it in context. It's a Marvel Disney movie, and they spent about $220 to $270 million on marketing and production. So they've yet to break even. For a movie from the MCU with a similar budget, let's look at Guardians of the Galaxy. They spent about the same amount of money, about $250, and they made about $900 million back. To go to an extreme, to one of the bigger Marvel movies, let's talk about Avengers Endgame. They spent about $400 million on marketing and production, and it got back about $2.7 billion with the B. Now, of course, it's kind of hard to match that kind of IP, but Guardians of the Galaxy made about $900 million off the same kind of budget. You've yet to even break even. That's a flop. But one of the actresses says, hey, look, don't blame us. You got to blame Bob Iger, the white man. Blame the white man. That's what she did here. Blame the white man. Don't blame us. Don't blame our acting skills. Don't say that we're not stars and we're kind of just subpar. Just blame the white man. Now, to a certain extent, she's right. To a certain extent, you could blame the white man. All right, because he's the architect of a lot of this woke stuff that's happening. You know, when you infuse in Disney with Marvel and try to make things woke and try to have girl power, all that kind of stuff. At a certain point, people don't really like it. It's just like trying to promote WNBA basketball. Women don't even like that kind of thing. Women don't watch WNBA basketball. The WNBA has an 80% male fan base. Women don't even like the WNBA. You know what the highest grossing movie of this year, 2023 was? I'll give you guys a moment to guess. What was the highest grossing movie of this year? And I'll give you a hint. It was not the Marvels. This girl power action adventure Marvel movie. It was not the Marvels. What was the highest grossing movie of this year? And once you're able to figure that out, you understand that people want what they want. You can't just make women like this kind of stuff. You can't just put women in the movie, female leads, and have it just do well. That's not how it works. In your woke production meetings, maybe it makes sense. When you hire people to say things like that, your diversity, equity, and inclusion people, when you hire them, all they're going to do is parrot whatever you want to hear. But they're not going to give you the reality of what the actual people, the human beings who watch movies, who purchase things, they're not going to tell you what they really want. Y'all got it right there. Barbie. Barbie was the highest grossing movie of this year. Okay. Now we could talk about the feminism and all that kind of stuff that's in it. But at the end of the day, it's about Barbie, the dolls. All right. Do you think people went to go see Barbie because of the woke messaging or the feminism, which I'm not saying it's not there, but it doesn't even matter. Are they going for the dialogue and all that extra stuff, or are they going to see Margot Robbie as Barbie? They're going to see Margot Robbie as Barbie. They're going to see Ryan Reynolds or whoever that was. I think it might have been him. They're going to see whoever the guy was as Ken. All right. And the actors that have to play Barbie and Ken are a little bit older. They're catering to people who liked Barbie and Ken as kids in the 80s and 90s. That's what's going on. Maybe they don't want to see some woke nonsense of random nobodies that we've not heard of before. And like the most obscure type of movie you can make. Don't nobody want to see the Marvels. Let's go see Barbie, one of the most well-known IPs in the world. It's simple. Just like Super Mario, another big grossing movie. Why? Is it because of the dialogue between Mario and Luigi? What, a bunch of yahoos all day? It's a me, Mario. Is that why you go to see Mario? No, you go to see Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Bowser, the Toads. You go for that reason. And people that make movies and really understand people understand that. If you're trying to be woke and whatnot, that's not really going to make it happen. All right. But that's that. So blame the white man when things don't go right. But I think in this case, she might be onto something because Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, again, I think Bob Iger was taken out of the CEO role. And then another guy named Bob was put in there. And then they let the other Bob go and brought the other Bob back. Confusing, but whatever. All right. So let's keep on rocking here. This is a great message from Patriot J on Twitter. Shout out to you, man, if you're watching. This was a really good message. Now, Patriot J, I've been following him for a while. He is a lawyer. And this is a great message for people who get pulled over by police. Now, one thing about getting pulled by police, I never was afraid when I got pulled by police because I never did anything wrong. It's like, okay, if I'm getting pulled over, what am I doing? Am I speeding? Am I swerving for some reason? I don't know. I don't get pulled over. I never get pulled over. I've not been pulled over since, I don't even know, man. Like, it's been years. It's been years. I want to say prior to 2012, maybe like 2010, 2011. And the only reason why I got pulled was because I was at a checkpoint. So I didn't get pulled over. Like I wasn't driving and I had the lights hit behind me. I've not had that happen since I've been like 16. When I first started driving, I got pulled over with the lights behind me. Nah, I take it back. It happened twice. So when I was 16, I'm driving on the road and I had lights behind me. I was going 45 and a 35, a speed trap type thing, right? I had just started driving. I was like 16, 17 years old, right by my house back in Virginia. The second time I had an expired tag, and this had to have been maybe 2009, 2010. So I've not been pulled in years, and I drive all over the place. I was on the interstate. I'm always on back roads, regular highway. I'm everywhere. And I got a Mustang and I got the F-150, both V8s. I'm gunning it. But I don't drive crazy. I know how to, I don't get pulled over. But when I do get pulled over, I'm not scared because am I in here smoking crack? Am I in here with a bunch of weed? Am I in here with bad tags, a dirty gun? Like, what am I really doing to be afraid when I get pulled over? So then when I see people talking about, oh, you'll know what it's like to be a black man and be afraid for your life when you get pulled over. It's like, huh? What are you talking about? I be in these little country towns in Georgia. Now, you can go to Atlanta, but Atlanta is not Georgia, if you understand what I'm saying. ABL, it's in Georgia. I understand. Like, we're on the same page. But Atlanta is its own little place. It's not the same thing as being outside of the city. But I never get scared. It's like, as long as you're not acting the fool on the road, what are you afraid of? But here's some good advice about what to do when you do get pulled over. If there's an issue, what do you do? All right, let's check it out.
If you get pulled over by a police officer, never do this. Show them some respect. Yes, sir. No, sir. If they say, do you know why I pulled you over? Don't say anything because they're just trying to bait you into admitting that you violated a crime. You always want to keep your hands very visible when the police officers pull you over. Keep them on the steering wheel. Comply and complain. If you're arrested for an unlawful arrest, file a complaint. Hire us. We'll fight the case. That's a lot better than the alternative, which could possibly end up in some sort of brutality like we've seen over the years. You never know. If you get
It's very simple. So at the beginning, it could be a little confusing. He said, never do this. Disregard that. Like what he was saying was right on point. If you get pulled over, okay, hands on the steering wheel. So the officer, he's cool. He's diffused. He's not on edge. You good. There's no problems. When he's trying to say, what did you do? Just don't say anything because now you're confessing. If there's any kind of problem, if there's an issue, file a complaint. What you don't want to do is have court with the officer right there on the street. There's no reason for that. You're not going to win that battle. I absolutely detest these videos where I see guys trying to have legal arguments with cops on the street. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to debate this? Okay, you got pulled over for a busted headlight. You got pulled over for going 75 into 55. You got pulled for a minor reason and you might get let off the hook. I'm gonna tell you this. When I did get pulled over, probably at the checkpoint, I got pulled at a checkpoint and then I got pulled one time at a stoplight. Basically, I'm at a light and there was a cop right next to me on foot. Like, I think he might have been directing traffic or something. And he saw that I had, he saw that I had an expired registration. Nah, I had an expired inspection on my car. So he was like, okay, you need to get that fixed and let me go. Same thing with the checkpoint. I had, an expired tag. I got a ticket, but he was like, yo, just fix the tag and you be good. There's no ticket fee. Although there was, my point is, you can get let go with a warning or a small ticket, $50, $40. Is it worth being there on the street, risking your life potentially? Not saying that if you get into an argument, it's going to be some kind of brutality, but I'm saying, what's the point in doing all that? I don't understand the purpose in doing things like that. I don't really get it. So just don't do it. Don't do it. Now, speaking of, I don't understand the purpose. I don't understand the purpose of voting for Democrats in a lot of these cities, these urban inner city areas, especially when you're not going to get the best thing for you. This is a post from In Wokeness, and it's a news clip. It says, tensions are rising in New York between blacks and illegal aliens as government handouts start running out.
In one neighborhood in Queens between NYCHA tenants and newly arrived migrants.
Wow, tensions are growing with not enough food to go.
So NYCHA, that's New York City Housing Authority, housing projects, basically. So there's a clash between them and the newly arrived migrants. Now they're battling over the free resources. They both want free resources. People that live in they're in poverty in New York City, they got to compete now with the illegal aliens. Watch this. You got to see this. And I might wind up doing a specific video on this subject. Let's check it out.
Around.
Why do we have to take the butt of everything? Okay, this community here is already suffering.
The residents living in NYCHA's Queensbridge houses.
QB, that's the biggest project, the biggest housing project in the world. Queensbridge. That's what your rappers talk about. Nas, all these guys. QB, Queensbridge. They are battling for resources with the illegal aliens.
Look forward to the mobile food pantries that show up weekly. But over the past year, they have witnessed 8,000 migrants move into their neighborhood, and they have also noticed the migrants are also starting to take their stuff.
They was first online for the turkeys this morning. If they tell you to be there at 11 o'clock, you get there like 10:30, 10:45, but they already out there. The line is from over there to over here.
That's something else people got to understand. Like, it's hard to, these migrants, a lot of them, they come from places where these resources are not so available. So when they come here, they're going to do everything they can and take advantage of it. They're going to be out there one day before. They don't really mind just sitting out there all day. They're not going to just show up casually. Like, no. They're going to be out there immediately. We're talking about jobs. They'll be out there immediately. They're going to be hungrier than you are a lot of times. I'm not saying it's right, but it is what it is. How are you going to compete? This is your replacement. You're seeing it happen right now. They're moving them right there in QB. Now, that's a project. You're going to have rats the size of cats, and you're going to have these bat-winged duck-sized roaches in your apartment, but it's fine because they are going to be there for a while, get money, build themselves up, and move out. What are you going to do if you've been there for generations, just languish in poverty? I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is one thing about gentrification. People complain about it. They say, oh, you're taking the neighborhood and you put in the Starbucks. Well, you should want a Starbucks in your neighborhood. You know what I see? When I see a Starbucks in the neighborhood, I see prosperity. I see growth. I see a lack of poverty. That's what I see. Ain't that what you want? Don't you want your neighborhood to be built up? Don't you want prosperity and jobs and money to come to your neighborhood? Or do you just want to subsist on government handouts forever and live in a state of poverty your whole life? Is that what you want? But I digress.
Free food giveaways, especially during the holidays, have become a source of tension between longtime New Yorkers struggling to get by and newly arrived migrants who are using the system to survive. A month ago, one altercation got so heated between a resident and a migrant, someone ended up in the hospital.
We would never turn anyone away for a meal, but there simply just is not enough for both NYCHA residents and the migrant shelter residents.
Councilmember Julie Wan says she alerted the mayor to the growing tension in her community and was able to get $50,000 to increase the number of hot meals served inside NYCHA's. But she's concerned the mayor's new budget cuts will only put further stress on a community already living in scarcity.
People are going hungry right now. People are frustrated with not having enough to eat, not having heat and hot water in their shelters or in their houses in NYCHA. And people want to make sure that they just have their basic needs met, like any human would anywhere. And that's what's causing the tension.
And we're going to see what happens tomorrow. That's when the Reese family and Councilmember Wan are putting together a fall family feast equipped to serve 2,000 people.
Oh, boy, that's going to be something right there. That's going to be something. Look, the migrants are going to be the people that get served. They're going to be the 2,000 that get served. The residents that have been living there for a while, it's a different culture. You coming over here through the border, you flying across, you got a mission. You have orders. You have an objective. You have an imperative. your mindset is different than those who are living there. And the reality is they shouldn't even be here. They should not be allowed to come in and just do this, but they are. They're being allowed to do it. So if they're given the avenue, they're going to take it. And people are going to suffer, but who cares, right? Because again, these migrants are going to replace those who have been here just in poverty. They're going to replace them. Those who are in, I said it before, those who are in NYCHA, that's New York City Housing Authority, in the projects, NQB, left, right, all of that, in New York, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx. If you're there, you're kind of invaluable real estate, to be totally honest. You're in Brooklyn, that's right across the bridge from Manhattan. They're going to get you out of there. They're already starting to do it. Williamsburg, look, man, they're going to get you out of there. You're going to go way out to Poughkeepsie. You're going to be in upstate. You're going to be up there by Niagara. You're going to be in Buffalo, New York. You're going to be up there shoveling snow for Syracuse, the college football team. You're not going to be in the city anymore. That's going to be valuable real estate for people that are going to be productive, for people that are going to push the city forward. Not if you want to be out there throwing up gang signs, shooting and thugging and drugging, they're going to get you out of there. I think that might be the whole point, to flush the people out who are just languishing in poverty by using the illegal aliens to do it.
We're going to see how far the resources can stretch.
It's not going to stretch very far. It's only a finite amount. And they're doing cuts. They're doing cuts in New York. And we saw Cardi B talking about the cuts, which is hilarious. Cardi B talking about Joe Biden. Oh, you didn't do right, because now we're having cuts in New York City. Now, as I said in my video about the whole Cardi B and Joe Biden thing, obviously your federal resources are not the same as your city and state resources. Those are all different things. However, what's happening in New York is a result of federal action or inaction, whatever you want to say. It could be action for allowing the migrants to come in, facilitating their entry, or it could be inaction by just turning your blind eye, just turning your back when the migrants come across. Okay, we got all these people coming in. We're not going to do anything about it. Just let them come on in and go straight to New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, Philly, wherever they want to go. Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. Just go wherever they want to go. That's what's happening right now in this country. People like Cardi B are mad, but Cardi B, you are partly responsible. You should apologize, not just attack Joe Biden. You should apologize for what you did. I'm going to play some of that original video interview from 2020 during the scamdemic, where Cardi B was interviewing Joe Biden on her best behavior. We know about Cardi B. This is a rapper with a bunch of raunchy lyrics, right? We'll talk about raunchy lyrics in a minute in another segment here. Raunchy lyrics, raunchy attire, twerking, booty shaking, all kind of stuff. But then when it came for Joe Biden, on the best behavior, got on the Martha Stewart post-penitentiary collection. Okay, we're talking about blazer tops, big 1970s John Travolta grease collars, all of that going on for Biden. But now you want to do a heel turn. It's just like your man Logan Paul doing the heel turn for Candace Owens when he was against her just 2 years ago. Are they going to apologize and say that we were right? Because I remember, I'm going to just say this. I remember being called a fascist, a racist, the black face of white supremacy. I remember all of that. I remember being told that if I didn't want to get vaxxed, I wanted to kill my grandmama. I didn't care about anybody. I'm being selfish. But now, all of a sudden, the vaccine is really important. They're rescinding mandates and no more mask mandate. And as far as I know, viruses don't go away, do they? Viruses don't go away. And they keep coming up with this vax and that vax and that vax. So if you were vaxxed the first time, your vax is outdated. So if you don't get a new one, are you trying to kill grandmama? All of a sudden, all that's gone. There's no more lockdowns. There's no more mandates. There's no more nothing. You could do whatever you want to do at this point, and it's all good. It's all good. So can I get an apology and beyond an apology? Because quite frankly, an apology might not do it. I remember and I'm going to get a little bit dark, and then I'm going to get right back light in a minute. But I remember they said that in Knox County, Tennessee, the self-deletion rate went through the roof. Over 100%, like something crazy because of the C-19 lockdowns and things of this nature. Not to mention all the permanent injuries, myocarditis, all kind of stuff people had. In the military, talking about them for a moment, they're talking about, hey, come on back. Well, I've been discharged for the past couple of years, so can I get some back pay? And in the meantime, my house went into foreclosure, so are you going to get the house back for me? Like, what are we going to do? Can I get my house back at the same rate I had it before it went in foreclosure, before you discharge me? Okay, I'm dedicating myself to my career, to the military. I get a dishonorable discharge, and now I'm out back. I got bills. I'm in the foreclosure. Are you going to fix my life for me? But I'm getting triggered, so I digress. Let's go back a little bit and look at the Cardi B, Joe Biden interview from 2020. A little bit of it. I'm not going to play too much of it because I'm not really trying to watch a whole lot of it.
Oh, snap.
How you doing?
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Look at all this fangirling, all this stuff. You know what I mean? You get on your Sunday's best. You get on the auntie, the tia in church look going on. When your tia went to the club the night before church and has got to get herself together. Okay, I got the red hair going crazy. I'm gonna put it back in a little slit back. All right, I'm gonna put on some Martha Stewart post-penitentiary interview, the velvet blazer with the John Travolta 1972 grease collar. I'm gonna throw that on, and then I'm good money.
How are you? The name's Joe.
Well, hello there, Joe.
As a matter of fact, why don't you meet my daughter, the love of my life, the life of my love. She's a fan of yours.
Hi, how are you?
This is Ashley.
Good, how you doing?
You know the nickname she gave her father when she was growing up? She'd call me Joey B. So we may be related or something.
Yep, Cardi B and Joey B. I'm a huge fan. I just wanted to say hi.
How you doing?
So look at all the smiling, showing the big teeth, the big veneers about the size of dominoes. You got a full set of dominoes, showing them all for your man Joe Biden in 2020. You, Cardi B, are part of the reason why he won. I'm not going to say you are the reason, but you're part of the reason. You and your ilk, you and your kind, you are part of the reason. So can I get an apology? Can I get an apology? You know that we got a bunch of wars going on and everything else. Can you say, I'm sorry? Can you say, that's my fault. I made a mistake or nah? Am I not going to get that? Should I just just not hold my breath? Oh, okay, cool.
I feel so crazy because I feel like I'm a little bit late. But Biden, let me tell you something. When you have kids my age, like the one my age, 2 years old, your schedule never go as planned.
So that's what's going on. You see the whole interview right there. I ain't gonna play too much of that, but she was beaming over the guy late, of course, to the interview, but beaming like, yeah, hey Biden. But now things have changed. All right. So let me see if I can find the censored version of her little rant. I probably can't, but it's fine. Let me just show some of this here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up.
As the United States.
All right. Are we going to see the actual thing? Okay. Let's not get it from you, ma'am. Let me just throw it up right quick. And we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. Hey, Bald Brad, that's a good idea, man. We should make shirts. Can I get an apology? That'd be great. If I can get an apology, that'd be fantastic. Let's see if Ben Shapiro can play it.
Folks, as you know.
All right.
And the police department. Y'all know I don't give a cops, but like it is what it is. There's gonna be an $120 million budget cut with schools, with the libraries and the cops and the police department, and a $5 million budget cut in sanitation. Of a budget cut in sanitation, gonna be drowning with rats. I'm not.
Now let's be clear. The budget shortfall, if I'm not mistaken, is $7 billion with a B. $7 billion with a B dollars in New York City, and it's all because of the migrants. It's all because of the migrants, because they're coming in and they're requiring so much money to take care of that it's causing just chaos with the money. They got to cut stuff from here, cut stuff from there, and it's causing the citizens to have a lower quality of life to welcome in thousands upon thousands upon thousands of migrants. What they said 8,000 people got moved into Queensbridge. That's crazy.
Endorsing no presidents no more. Because how is there a $100 million budget cut in New York City for schools, library, police safety, and sanitation? Yeah, Joe Biden's talking about like, yeah, we could fund two wars. My talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like, we're the greatest nation. No, we're not. We're going.
Now, one thing about what she's saying here, talking about funding two wars, you know what was funny about that? She did not mention Israel, but her comments were phrased as Cardi B, what she say, like discharged Joe Biden over Israel funding. It's like, is that what she said? I thought it was two wars, because let's not forget, we got the guy over there, the actor with the high heels and the pantyhose, Voldemort. We got him still cracking over in Ukraine. Let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about the billions of dollars we've given him. So you got that going on. You got Israel, Hamas, Gaza, whatever going on. And they're talking about getting involved with Taiwan and South China Sea. You're talking about 1, 2, 3 foreign conflicts that we want to be involved in, and we want to print and spend money for that. We want to print and spend money for that. It's crazy. And you know what? I'm going to let her play the rest of this. But I played a video for you guys about a couple in Chicago that had about 50 grand in debt because they were overpaid by Social Security. Another story has a man $100,000 in debt because the government gave him too much money. I'm like, wait a minute. How many billions of dollars have we given Ukraine to fight Russia in a proxy war? How about let's not get involved with the proxy war, and maybe if you make a mistake, federal government, you should pay for it? Why tax this poor guy $100,000 he doesn't have? Why tax him to clean up your mistake while we could spend billions of dollars overseas and we can have a bunch of graft, just pure graft in the political system? A lot of the things that we print and spend money for gets wasted, or people that are in power spend it on themselves. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Going through some right now.
Okay, now.
All right, so shout out to Ben for that particular thing. But yeah, Cardi B changing the tune, talking about she won't endorse anybody anymore. Well, hey, you did it. You sure did do it. All right, you sure did. Now, we have a lot actually to get through. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, Cardi B is from New York, obviously, but does not live there anymore. She has a house in Jersey, and guess where else? Atlanta, ATL, in the red state. Her and her husband, who is from the Atlanta area, Offset from the Migos, they have a $6 million estate in ATL. All right, and if I didn't show that, let me just throw it on the screen right quick. All right, so $6 million right there. So they've been able to escape what's happening in New York City, but a lot of her relatives and whatnot have not. Now, one thing I want to say about that before I move on, she was saying in the video that she's been able to leave New York and she's not going to be affected directly by what's happening in the city with the migrants and all the budget cuts, but a lot of her friends and family who still live in the hood, they're going to be affected. Now, some said, well, hey, ABL, if she's rich, why can't she move her family out the hood? Well, I mean, you can't save everybody. How many people are we talking about? We talking about 100 people. She might take care of 10, 20 people, but she might have 100 more. You can't take care of all these people. At a certain point, you got to be able to get on your own. If you buy somebody a house, I mean, who's going to maintain it? If you you see what I'm saying? Money don't grow on trees at a certain point. You can't save everybody. You might got 100 friends and they all want to get out the hood. So can you do that for everybody? I think not. One thing about me, I said it before. I said it on my Facebook page so my family can look at it and they can reference this. I said if I made a bunch of money, like the lottery, $1 billion, I said I would give my parents X amount of money and my family X amount of money, like 10 bands. And when I say family, I mean like my very close aunts, uncles, some close cousins. If I don't know you, I'm not giving you $1. If you're my cousin and I've not met you before and I don't know you, I'm not giving you $1. And that's only if I win the lottery. I'm talking about the Mega Millions. If I win the Mega Millions, I strike the jackpot and I get 100 billion in cash, I give you 10 bands. If you're my cousin and I know you. If I don't know you, you're not getting $1. Because if I just give everybody money, at a certain point, I'm not going to have any more. A lot of athletes and entertainers go broke like that, trying to help the whole family. I was watching this documentary called ESPN 30 for 30 Broke. A fantastic documentary. You got to watch it. If you like, hearing about money and how to save and how to spend. One guy, it was Bart Scott. And you may know Bart Scott from this famous GIF. Let me show it on the screen right quick. I know I'm getting off track, but y'all please hang with me and I'm going to get right back on it. And if you like what you're hearing so far, get a video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So this right here, I know you've seen it before. That's my man Bart Scott right there.
See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
So from the can't wait, that's him. He said in a documentary that he takes care of 5 households. So you're talking about their living expenses, mortgage, car notes, cell phone, food, households. And in the households, you got a lot of people. Mom, dad, granddad, kids. And you're talking about a guy that's playing football and the career might not last 8, 9, 10 years. So after he's done and there's no more football money, then what? Does everybody move out? Is he no longer the breadwinner? What happens? See what I'm saying? A lot of athletes get caught up in that and they wind up going broke as a result. But I'm going to get back on track. Oh, yeah. Somebody was asking, what does that mean? Bands? 1,000. That's what the cool kids say. A band is $1,000. So if I say 10 bands, you're getting $10,000. If I win the Mega Millions, I'm going to give 100 cousins $10,000. I think that's fair. I got a really big family, and I know a lot of my cousins. I got a bunch of aunts, uncles. I got everybody. I always say on the show, my uncle, my aunt, I got like 10 uncles. I got a lot of people in my family. But I digress. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. I got some funny videos, and then I'm going to keep rocking and rolling. Yes, 100 cousins at least. I'm going to tell you something. There was a family reunion that I didn't go to in Ohio. I got family out there as well. They said there was so many people that had a stadium or an arena or something crazy. That's just one side of the family. That's not even both sides of my family. My mom and my dad's side. I got a lot of family members. It's crazy. A lot. Just on my aunt and uncle side, back in Virginia, in their tree, you got like 50 people. Because they got kids and the kids got kids and their kids got kids. It's a lot going on. So just from my aunt and my uncle in Virginia, well, my mom's brother, just from their tree, it's got to be about 20 cousins at least, just from them alone. It's crazy. Let's keep on going here. Now, here's a funny video about the federales, because we know how the federales operate. We know that a lot of these functions, how can I say, these rallies and these groups, these so-called white supremacist groups, we know that they are just glowing. Gretchen Whitmer was a prime example. Remember the whole Gretchen Whitmer kerfuffle? The news, the media, the federales said that there was a plot to try and kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. But there were so many feds on the case, it didn't even go anywhere. the case didn't go anywhere because it was almost, I think out of 28 people, there were 24 either federal agents or federal informants. 24 out of 28. It was so bad, the case didn't go anywhere because everybody was a Fed. You had a couple of morons that got fooled by the federales, but really it was an all Fed thing. Same thing with J6, same thing with a lot of other things. Proud Boys. Your man was a federal informant. What's my man's name? The guy, Enrique Tarrio, a federal informant. Most of these groups you hear about, the Fed Front, aka Patriot Front, Proud Boys, a lot of these groups are crawling with federal agents. But let's watch this video right quick. Then we're going to keep on rocking and rolling.
Plain and simple.
Sorry for the loud noise. RP headphone users. RP headphone users. Let's keep on going.
Plain and simple. We break into the Capitol building, we infiltrate the government, and we kidnap the Speaker of the House.
Everyone down on the ground, FBI! You're on the ground! It's over.
Oh, it's over, all right. It's over.
For all of you FBI scum, we're the true patriots, standing up for liberty and stuff. Wait just 1 minute. Steve Crenshaw. You got me. We got you here. We're all FBI agents if that hasn't been obvious.
All right. FBI.
I don't know how you sleep at night. Traitors.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you know? We were all FBI agents the whole time.
So there you go. Shout out to that particular video. That's pretty much how it is. That is how it is. Liberty and stuff. Exactly. Now, Enrico did get 22 years, but he probably just made a mistake because he was a federal informant. He was proven to be a federal informant. He had a record of being an informant. It was paperwork. It was documents on him. And right before January 6th happened, they got him from the crowd. They knew he was there. They knew that it was going to be a problem on January 6th. So when he traveled to D.C., the federal agents got him and put him into custody before the night before January 6th happened. Why would they do that if he wasn't a federal? Come on. Like, and that's something else, though. A lot of these groups, they think they're kind of just doing things that nobody knows about. The feds know what you're doing. It's like the IRS. The IRS know how much money you make. All they want to do is see if you're going to be honest about it when you file. Now, the only way they might not know is if you are off their radar, which they, that's something else. The feds can pick you up before January 6th, but then when you got mass shooters, oh, he was on our radar. We went to his house. We did a check because he might commit a mass shooting, but we didn't know he was going to do it. It's like, man, what's going on here? What is really happening? I can't tell. Oh, and speaking about crazy people, things that don't make any sense, let's watch some cringe from MS13DNC about Trump. Now, I mean, I know that a lot of us miss Trump, but I don't think anyone misses Trump more than the left on television because he was their cash cow. Without Trump, what are they going to talk about? What are they going to talk about? Like, what is it to actually say? Are they going to talk about how bad Joe Biden is doing? The inflation ruining the country, people not having enough food, people not being able to pay rent. Are they going to talk about the bad things that are happening right now? That's not very good for TV. That's not very good for ratings. You got to talk about Orange Man bad. Although he's not in office anymore, they'll talk about Orange Man bad years after he's out of office. It could be 100 years from now, and it'll still be Orange Man bad, like the funny mustache guy. It's like, man, at a certain point, can we move on and talk about something else? It's like, what are we even doing? But let's watch this and we keep on rocking and rolling.
A lot of people have tried to draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler and the use of the terminology like vermin and the drive that those men had towards autocracy and dictatorship. The difference, though, I think makes Donald Trump even more dangerous, and that is he has no philosophy he believes in. He is not trying to expand the boundaries of the United States of America. He's not trying to overcome a neighboring country like Putin is in Ukraine. He is not going for some grandiose scheme of international dominance. All he wants is to look in the mirror and see a guy who's president. All he cares about is selfish self-promotion. That's the only philosophy he has, which makes him even more dangerous because he has actually said out loud that it would be okay to terminate the Constitution to keep him in power. He said this. He actually said those words. And the irony is all of these supposed conservative folks that have populated the Republican Party all stood around and with their thumb in their mouth going, well, yeah, okay, I guess so. It's bizarre.
So there we have it. That's what they think about. They're still talking about Orange Man, talking about the funny mustache guy, Mussolini, all these people. It's like, can we just move past it? Can we get beyond it or nah? These people are crazy. And it's always got to be a boogeyman. If there is no boogeyman currently right in front of their face, they'll talk about a previous boogeyman or to make a new one. And I think the newest boogeyman is our main man from Argentina, Javier Milei. Now, shout out Javier Milei. I like him. I like a lot of what he stands for. I think that a lot of people may not like what he's doing too much. They might not like what he's doing because they call him a right-wing nut job, conspiracy theorist, all type of stuff. Just random weird stuff. Now, truthfully, he is a libertarian, which is not the same thing as a conservative, obviously. A lot of his stances I'm not really a big fan of. The thing that I have that a lot of people don't like is my stance against drugs. I don't like how I'm not a fan of legalizing drugs because I know what it does to an environment. People that talk about legalizing drugs a lot of times have never lived in an environment where drugs are everywhere. If you're living in a drug-infested area, you're not going to want to have that kind of thing just permeate throughout the country. All right, so let's watch some of this right here. This is from This is from NBC. Now, let's see what they say about Javier Milei. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on CBS and see what they say, and then I kick it over to NBC. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And shout out to you guys on Facebook. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. I really, really appreciate you. Don't get caught up by some of them trolls in the comments I see talking about, oh, this might be an inappropriate message. Don't nobody respond to that unless you want to get catfished and robbed out of your money. All right, let's keep on going.
Hoy comienza la reconstrucción de Argentina.
So right-wing populist Javier Milei will become the next president of Argentina amid deep discontent over soaring inflation and poverty. Yeah, that's one thing. I think they said it's like a 40% poverty rate in Argentina, and then inflation was like at 140%. And part of what he wants to do is to dollarize the economy, meaning get away from their own currency, their own Argentine currency, and go to the U.S. dollar. Some see that as him selling out. This is going to be a text video. I really don't want to see that. I want to see the actual video. Let me just skip ahead to this one.
Argentina's fiercely polarized presidential election is over. And populist Javier Milei came out ahead. Right-wing economist and TV personality securing the presidency after running an eccentric campaign promising to rein in soaring inflation and fight socialist values.
Porque hoy comienza la reconstrucción de Argentina.
Supporters flooding the streets of Buenos Aires, hopeful for change at a time when the poverty rate has reached 40% in the country with the third largest economy in Latin America. Milei securing the famous Casa Rosada after a contentious runoff with more than 50.
The Red House, like, I guess that's their own version of the White House, Casa Rosada.
55% of the vote compared
Hold
with
on, 55% of the vote. Okay, it's pretty good.
His rival, Argentina's economy minister, Sergio Massa, the largest margin of victory since the country returned to democratic elections in 1983. A controversial figure known by his fans as the Crazy and the Wig for his larger-than-life personality and hair. At times compared to Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, and former U.S. President Donald Trump, who congratulated Milei on his victory, writing, quote, "Make Argentina great again" on his Truth Social platform. Before rattling Argentinian politics, Javier Milei was a TV pundit, loved for his hot takes on the economy and politics that boosted ratings.
What do you? You know what? Who else could be? Who else can make the transition from being a TV pundit to being, if not the president, maybe something else, maybe like a higher official? Tucker Carlson, he could be the next Javier Milei, in my humble opinion, and he would do a fantastic job. Tucker, if you're watching, that might be your next call-in. People always ask me, hey, ABL, you going to be in politics? I'm talking about strangers, people on the internets. When I say people that don't really know me, strangers, I'm talking about people that have no idea I have a YouTube channel. Just people in the street randomly, they'll ask me about being in politics. So I might be able to do it if I'm called to do it. Tucker, same thing for you. You might be called to do it.
And politics that boosted ratings.
Not Zelensky. Zelensky, wasn't he like a he was a she thing playing around the high heels. Tucker ain't do that, nor did my man over here.
What do you see as his biggest challenge going into office?
Getting forward some of his critical proposals through the Argentine Congress is going to be a challenge, as well as the financial situation overall. The Argentine peso is viewed by many as essentially being worthless.
He's a self-declared anarcho-capitalist, a libertarian and staunch supporter of the free market. His fight against inflation, which has topped 140%, is centered around closing the nation's central bank.
Dollarizing the economy is obviously incredibly problematic, and insofar as how to actually do it, and also a country of the size of Argentina is challenging as well.
Argentina's recent legalization of abortion is also in Milei's crosshairs. Milei has proposed a plan to repeal the law while juggling the notion that climate change is not a human-made issue.
It's not. Everybody knows that. Climate change, that's one of the biggest grifts in this world. It's a grift. This is how people like Al Gore get rich. Al Gore will fly private and have an estate that burns so much carbon all year long. I mean, do you know how much it takes to heat up a home that size that he has and cool it, and also the maintenance, the lawn care? Man, please, so much energy, and then flying private. He's not serious. He's just, it's a grift. It's a way to get money. That's all. I mean, why not? If you had no morals or scruples to yourself, you can just fly around the world and say that you by yourself invented the internet, and that the polar ice caps are melting, or maybe they're going to be freezing depending upon the time. Because at one point it was global cooling, then it was acid rain, then it was the ozone layer, then it was global warming, now it's climate change. And climate change is an ambiguous term, so you can use that regardless. If there's a snowstorm, climate change. Heat wave, climate change. Tsunami, hurricane, earthquake, tornado, climate change.
The sizable victory of Javier Milei shows the discontent of the Argentine people with their current status.
All right, Stephen Romo joins us in studio now. Stephen, he's called Brazil's president a, quote, angry communist. What does that say about his style? Obviously, Argentina and Brazil share a border.
Yeah, the relationship between Brazil and Argentina, obviously very important. That sort of harsh words they've had back and forth raised a lot of concerns, but Lula actually congratulated the new government of Argentina, hoping that things will smooth out. But the expert we talked to for this piece is saying that the ideological differences between Milei and the rest of the region could cause quite a bit more tension, something we're going to have to watch going forward.
Thanks for watching. Stay on.
Okay, let's not do that. So there we have it. So shout out to Javier Milei as a new president of Argentina. I think he'd do very well. A libertarian, let's keep that clear. He wants to continue. He wants to legalize drugs and prostitution. So that's going to be rough for a lot of people to, especially for me, especially the drugs. That's going to be a big one because that's going to create a lot of problems. Also, when you legalize prostitution, that could cause problems too, depending upon, how things go. It's been a problem right now in LA. I don't know. I think maybe it depends on the culture of your country where you live. If you have certain laws in Japan, you can do that, but you might not be able to do it here. For example, in Japan, from what I know, and if you guys know about Japan more than I do, y'all correct me. Aren't there like certain vending machines that you can actually reach into and take things without paying, but you should pay? I'm not sure how it goes. Basically, a lot of things are in other countries that wouldn't really exist here. And really from place to place in America, things are different. One thing I noticed when I came out to Tennessee was that there was glass in all the convenience stores. So what I mean is when you go to a corner store, gas station, it's going to be a glass barrier between you and the person. Same thing with like a check cashing place. When I had one of my graphic design clients in Africa, what they would do is send me a money order. It was a legitimate client. They would send me money orders from over there, and I had to go to a check cashing place to get the money. When I was in Virginia, I can just walk straight up. There was no glass or anything protecting. But here, the same exact place I would go to, the same chain spot, when I go there, glass everywhere. You can't just run up in there. Nah. So from place to place is different. Japan, things are different. Argentina, things are different. Here in the States, things are different. Now, you're talking about, Santos Bartez, the glass is everywhere. It's everywhere. Well, you're right. It depends on the neighborhood. Where I was before with the glass, it wasn't really the hood, but it was like a transitional area. You understand? It's like right in between the hood and in between the nice place. Like in the mall area. It was like a line of demarcation. Once you get past that area to the west, you're going further and further toward the hood. Once you go past there to the east, you're going further and further to the suburbs. So I was like right in the middle. So you're kind of right that it was kind of in the hood. But even in Virginia, there was no glass even in the hood. Like nothing whatsoever. Now, I've been to some spots, you got bars in the window. I tell you what, LA sucks. Like if I lived in a house that cost $500,000 in the ghetto in Los Angeles, and I got bars on the window, man, you got me all the way messed up. I refuse. I'm not living in no dog cage for $500,000 in the ghetto. I got to duck bullets and everything else. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. Duke Rose says it's Japan and it's the pay it forward vending machines. Buy two and leave one for something else. Okay, see, there we go. That kind of thing would not happen here. Shout out to you guys. He says a cousin of Nigerian. Nah, for real. My client was really in Africa, and they were actually in Angola. Shout out to my man, Antonio, over there in Angola. Good people, really good people. But I had to make sure that I was verifying that. I had to make sure. I've not been to Portsmouth in a while, Bob, so I don't even know what's going on. But I presume they got a lot of, especially like in a certain part of Portsmouth, they're going to have bars and stuff and glass and everything. Yeah, I've not really, I don't even go out that way to even notice what they got going on as far as the corner stores. Yeah, I'm good. And certain parts like Atlanta as well, certain stores you don't venture into. If you go to a corner store or you drive past the corner store at a certain time of the day or night, and there's a guy posted up outside, keep on driving. Keep on driving. That's why I don't get gas when I'm in like the city of Atlanta or like really like East Point, College Park. If I'm out there, I'm good. I start one time and there was some guys my age at the gas station hanging out at like 10 o'clock at night. It's like, y'all dudes are too old for this. Y'all uncles out here begging for money. It's like, sir, if you don't get back to your wife and kids, like, what are you doing out here? But anyway, I'll move on. Where are we at? Talking about Javier Milei. Oh, the drugs. Did you guys see did I put that out yet? I didn't put that out yet. But I had a video I was going to put out, but then the whole thing with the bomb happened. I'm going to get to that in a minute, or the lack thereof. The lack thereof. So, Oregon and Measure 110. So, Measure 110 was what they passed in November 2020 to legalize, or pardon me, to decriminalize heroin, fentanyl, hard drugs. So if you smoke fentanyl just out in the open, middle of the daytime, there's no prosecution. The most they're going to do is give you a ticket for $100. And it's funny. I'm gonna play a video. You got to see it because it's really funny how this whole thing's playing out. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But getting back to the Measure 110. So it passed with 58% of the vote in 2020, back in November 2020, right during the general election. They passed it by vote. And now there's a poll out there that says 56% of the electorate in Oregon want to repeal it because they thought that legalizing drugs, it might be a good thing. It might be the way forward. But see, that's people that never lived in the drug infested area. They don't understand how this whole thing works. They don't really get it. They don't understand that when you just allow this kind of stuff to spread, it's going to cause a lot of unforeseen problems happen. I say it all the time. Fetty whack, exactly, Joe Mama. But I say it all the time. When I lived in Virginia, when I was out in Portsmouth, Bob, when I was out to P City, P-Town, I was living in this area called Churchland, like way deep in there, like in the hood area, but it wasn't that bad. And if you know about Churchland, you know that it's cool. If you're living in like the southern part of it, it's suburbs. If you're living in north, if you're living like way out by Suffolk, like I did, you kind of in the hood. But my neighborhood was pretty cool. I mean, every now and again, it'll be a shooting. Every blue moon, somebody might get shot. But it wasn't really that bad. Other neighborhoods in Portsmouth, it was shooting every night. Every night. Every night, somebody getting shot. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. And what they did was they tore down one of these neighborhoods we're talking about, one of these really violent neighborhoods called Otter Barbara. It was a housing project. And they gave them vouchers to come to our neighborhood and other spots in the city. When they did that, they released a pack of locusts. They released a pack of locusts upon us. We got the shooting every night, crackheads running in and out of you. It was a mess. You trying to go to sleep, you got crackheads banging on your door. I mean, it was just dangerous. You got a single mother or something like that, leaving notes up under your front mat. They're watching what you're doing. You got a bunch of unemployed crackheads watching you and your patterns, what you're doing all the time. They're stealing stuff from you. It's a mess. It was a mess. So I know what it's like to live in the drug-infested area. This is why I understand that passing Measure 110 is going to be a problem. And now they experience what kind of like legalized drugs are, and they don't like it because the drug problem expanded. In the first year of them passing Measure 110, overdose deaths shot up 52%. In the first year, 52% overdose deaths went up in Oregon. I'm gonna just show some of that right quick, and then we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. Let me see it right here. This was let me find this. I gotta find this video like right now. This was about Oregon, and they went to They went to Portugal, all kind of dumb stuff. Let me just play this.
About 50-50.
This is Portland, Oregon, 2 years after decriminalizing personal amounts of hard drugs. The open drug use, the deaths, worse than ever.
Where are we?
Now, somebody mentioned Amsterdam. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is the whole point that I was making. Europe, Amsterdam, Netherlands, it's not the same thing as living in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's not the same thing as living in Portland, Oregon. It's not the same thing as living in Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, Philadelphia. It ain't the same. It's cultural differences, health, everything is different. It's not the same thing. And is it like cheap to live over there? Like you gotta take all these things into consideration. Okay, where do you have a Netherlands here in the States? Now, if you want to point to an area where it's identical to the culture and the values and everything as a Netherlands, put drugs there and see what happens. Here in the States, what you're going to have is people that travel from other parts of the country to go there, and they're going to turn this Shangri-La of crackheads into a nightmare. That's what happens all over the country. People don't know it until it happens.
This is Skidmore Fountain, which has been called Fentanyl Fountain by some of the folks that we've interacted with.
Police officer David Bayer patrols downtown. Measure 110, the ballot initiative that brought in decriminalization, changed his job.
See this guy right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch this.
Now, this guy is smoking fentanyl out in the open, broad daylight. You got businesses and you got a food truck right there. Imagine you go to a food truck trying to get you a hoagie or something like that. And it's a dude smoking fentanyl right beside you. What are you going to do? You got kids out here. You're trying to just walk. You're trying to be a tourist in Portland for some reason. And it's a guy right there getting high, smoking meth, and blowing the smoke on you. What you going to do?
What's he doing?
He's probably smoking fentanyl. See that?
Yeah.
And we're like, we're in what's basically a police car. It's unmarked, but like, we're pretty obviously the police. Hi there, put that knife away, please. What are you smoking?
Fetty.
Okay, just powder fentanyl?
Yeah.
Is that what you drop right there?
Yeah.
Right there? Yeah. Can you pick that up so someone else doesn't find it or a kid doesn't find that, please?
Under Measure 110, Bayer writes a $100 ticket. The fine will be waived if this man phones a treatment hotline.
Now, you got to hear this. So you heard what he said, or what the narrator said. All he's going to get right now is a ticket for $100. If he calls the hotline, the ticket gets waived. Now, let's hear the follow-up.
Hey, man. No, number to call in the back for treatment. Right on. Good luck to you.
Do you think he'll call?
Most likely, yeah. About a 50-50 shot, yeah.
A recent audit found just 1% of people receiving tickets have actually called the hotline.
Look, did you see the whole thing play out? I think the only reason they even did that with the ticket was because the cameras are right there. If there was no cameras, if this was not something that was going to be on TV or YouTube, they would not have even stopped. What's the point of giving this guy a ticket if only 1% of people call the hotline on the back of the ticket? 1%. And you're not going to prosecute somebody for $100. You're not going to bring them to court for that. If you can smoke crack openly, why would you try to bring them to court over $100? It's not even really worth it. So the ticket is completely useless. You can pretty much take a ticket, ball it up, and just throw it. Because it's just, this is the kind of policy we're talking about. Stupid stuff. Stupidity.
All right, got Narcan one. Hey, we gotta go. My partner's calling me.
Hey, old Jim Bob says, I wonder why he's wearing the mask under his chin. When people smoke fentanyl in the open, they don't really do things that make sense, you know?
Asking for Narcan.
Okay.
Oh, that's something else. The Narcan. When people OD on fet, heroin or whatever, and then they get Narcaned, all they're going to do is come right back into action, go and smoke some more, and OD again and then get revived again. That's all they're going to do. All you're doing is helping them get high. You're helping them get all the way to the edge. It's what they want to do. They want to go all the way to the edge before they die, and that is good to them. So when these guys, these crackheads, junkies, when they see people that overdose, they want to go right to that area where they're overdosing and get that drug. That's good for them. That means that if a bunch of guys are ODing and almost dying, that means it's good. That's their mindset. You got to understand that when you're dealing with these people.
And that means
someone's overdosing. Yeah, you saw ask for it on the radio.
How often does this happen?
Every day.
But still, 2 people a day die from drug overdoses in Oregon. British Columbia's death toll is 3 times that. Decriminalization hasn't brought those numbers down.
Chase, wake up, buddy. There you go. Thanks.
Now I can say we used it.
He's gotten Narcan 4 milligrams in the left nostril.
In the first year, opioid overdose deaths rose 52%.
When did you guys last deal with him?
Yesterday.
Do you guys Narcan him?
Yes.
Okay. So he's up and off. It's very likely we see him again.
So you heard that they saw the guy yesterday and then Narcaned him yesterday. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. He'll get Narcaned and then go right back to getting high and get Narcaned again day after day after day after day. The Narcan is enabling the addiction. That's why there was a town in Ohio that stopped carrying Narcan altogether, because Ohio was like, it's really, you think the opioid crisis is bad in Portland and San Fran? Go to my particular hometown where I was born, like Appalachia, like deep into Appalachia, West Virginia, Ohio. It's crazy. It's a whole different ballgame out there. And it's so bad that certain towns don't even carry Narcan because they know all they're doing is just making the problem continue. If somebody dies, oh well, but the thing is, when they don't have that, when you're dealing with an addict, one thing about it, because I've done this before, not me being an addict, but dealing with an addict, I've done it before. One thing I know about these people is that when you give them a safety net, they abuse it. They know they can go all the way to the edge and you'll catch them before they fall. That's what they know, and they use it to their advantage.
Sad.
Yeah.
Who's paying for this? Great question. You, if you're living in Oregon, you, the taxpayer. And if they get any kind of federal money, you, the taxpayer. If you live in Miami, Florida, Chicago, Illinois, wherever you live, Boise, Idaho, you pay for it out of your money. You pay for the Ukraine war. You pay for everything that you don't really want to pay for, right?
Yep. And I've known that guy for 3 years, and I've frankly seen his decline, because he used to just use meth. And now every day he's out here using fentanyl, and this is the second day in a row we've Narcaned him. We're blocking traffic. Let's get on. Let's get moving here.
So I won't play the entire thing, but that's kind of what's going on right now in Portland, Oregon, and in Oregon in general, and all over the left coast. And this is what you get when you decriminalize drugs. Now, am I saying that if you criminalize drugs, you're going to just stop all the overdoses? No, of course not. But you got to do something to try and fight it, because at a certain point, it's not even about trying to lock people up. You do that if you have to, but it's not really about that. It's about public health. If you're having a 50% spike in overdose deaths in 1 year, you got a problem. If you have over 100,000 deaths from opioids in 1 year in this country, we got a problem. And the question is, what are you going to do to fix it? Obviously, in Portland, the solution is not to decriminalize the drugs, because it made the problem worse. Now, somebody was saying that, Portland needed to, well, not Portland, but Oregon needed to also have a healthcare aspect to it. What healthcare are you going to give these people? Narcan? What are you really going to give them? If an addict wants to get high, they're going to get high. If there's no barriers, if there's no things to disincentivize it, like no Narcan, like you might get locked up, like you can't just smoke crack out in the public. If there's no barriers, they're going to just keep on doing what they're doing. And you're going to get guys that travel. That's one thing people don't talk about, the travelers. They come from all over the country to go smoke crack right there. So it's a problem, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, the bomb, or lack thereof, the explosion. Now, before I get into it, what do you guys think happened? I'm going to tell you this story as far as what I know right now. This could change. So earlier today, a car exploded at the U.S.-Canada border right by the Rainbow Bridge. This bridge goes from Niagara Falls, U.S. to Niagara Falls, Canada. It's a border crossing. You got checkpoints and everything else before you get to the bridge. Okay, the checkpoint's right there at the bridge. You go over, you're in Canada. Or if you come from Canada, you be in the U.S. Now, initial report said that there was explosives in a vehicle and it blew up right there by the bridge. And they said it was a terror attack. Now, just 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago, they published a report on CBS News talking about there was an increased risk of a terror attack in New York State, not just New York City, but New York State because of the Gaza conflict. They literally said that 2 days ago, 48 hours ago, and now we get this that happens. But then as more facts came out, all of a sudden, oh, nah, it wasn't a bomb. It was just an explosion. It wasn't a terror attack. It was just reckless driving. It wasn't on the bridge. It was by the bridge. And here's my thing. Can we get some responsible journalism a little bit? Why would you say it's a terror attack instantly? Why would you say that without having any kind of evidence to prove it? I mean, you could say that it could be, maybe, but I wouldn't even do that because what happens is people are going to just hear the initial reporting and most normies are not going to care to hear the follow-up. All they heard was the article from 2 days ago about the potential terror attack. Then they heard that there was a terror attack today. They're not going to hear, oops, false alarm, my bad, sorry about that, sorry for the mistake. I mean, I know I said it was a terror attack with a car and a bomb right on the holiday weekend. I'm sorry. It wasn't really that. It was just an explosion that happened. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that it was a terror attack? Do you think that it was just reckless driving? Do you think that it was a dry run, a little bit of a test? I don't really know what it was. Well, I know that it was a car that blew up, but I don't know why the car blew up. I don't know if it was just somebody driving reckless. I don't know if it was a dry run. I don't know if somebody was just trying to make it look like an attack because of the article that came out. I have no idea. And before I get into that, I want to show you something here because somebody may say, ABL, you're being irresponsible. Why would they just try to do that and make it look like a terror attack? Why would they do that? Well, here's something right here. This was a shooting at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky. All right, let me show you this. So Louisville bank shooter Connor Sturgeon wanted to highlight lax gun laws. So this guy had a manifesto, and for some reason that's been totally just given to us, but we can't get the transfesto from Nashville all the way anyway. He shot his former mentor during the rampage, all this and that, and the third. So he said he did this to highlight how lax the gun laws are. And in the manifesto, he mentioned the NRA, saying that they made this possible. So he wanted to do this. He did this just to make a point, just to say, hey, gun laws suck and you guys are being irresponsible. So if he did that for that reason, maybe somebody else did the whole car thing to show that a terror attack can't happen. You guys aren't safe. I don't really know. But it's not a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. This is just what happened right here, right? But let me get back to the whole kerfuffle that happened in Niagara Falls, New York. I'm going to show you guys the actual video of the vehicle pulling a Dukes of Hazzard, basically. Let me see if I can find that clip right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. Okie dokie. So here we are. Now it's kind of hard to see, and I'm going to try to find, matter of fact, this is somebody recording the video of the screen. I know I got the actual, I have the actual video. Give me a second. The car flew up in the air and crashed down. And then when it crashed, that's what caused the explosion. All right. I got to find that. Matter of fact, I'm going to play the one video I have, and then I'm going to play a better version of that when I can actually find it. So y'all hang tight for me. There we go. Here we are.
And then it crashes into this.
So you see the car right there.
CBP, Customs and Border Protection.
So we got Dukes of Hazzard type stuff going on. The car is in the air. I don't know what it hit, if it was a ramp or I don't know what the car hit to go airborne like that. But the car is high up in the air and it was going at a very high rate of speed. Witnesses said that it was going like 80 miles an hour or more and it hit something, shoots up in the air, crashes, and explodes. Now, what I want to know is, was it an electric vehicle? Why did it blow up like that? Some say that the explosion wasn't really that severe, but I like to know why it actually did that. You know, that's kind of what I want to know. Let me see if I can find, okay, here we go. Car goes airborne. Let's watch this.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
New information coming in about the car.
There we go. You see it at the top? Okay, I got a better video for you. Somebody said that's the worst one I've seen. I got a better one. Shout out to you. I got it. Watch at the very top of the screen.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
New information coming in about the car explosion at one of the busiest U.S.-Canadian border crossings. Officials are working to assure the public this does not bear the signs of a terrorist attack. Thanks for being with us for the news at 6. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. This happened about 11:20 this morning at the Rainbow International Bridge, one of several border crossings around Niagara Falls. Those crossings were shut down. We are told they are now reopening.
Jacqueline Francis has been keeping tabs on security at our local border crossings, including the Ambassador Bridge. Jacqueline, there's always a domino effect with an incident like this.
Yeah, that's right. But things have been moving really smoothly here over the Ambassador Bridge. There's some rush hour, but that's totally to be expected, especially with this holiday weekend we're getting into. But officials say they did remain on high alert because all of the borders, there's heightened security at all the U.S.-Canadian borders. That does remain in effect. We do want to get to some video that's just into our newsroom. It actually shows the car going airborne moments before the explosion. Again, this happened on the Rainbow Bridge that's connecting New York and Canada near Niagara Falls. We've been told the car was speeding leading up to that. Other new information tonight, at least one person is dead. The person behind the wheel was a New York State driver. No other details, though, on their identity at this time. We're also learning no Customs and Border Patrol officials were hurt in this incident. That's good news considering how close that checkpoint was to the explosion. All of this comes as New York's governor is putting minds at ease tonight, saying it does not appear to be a terrorist attack.
At a time when there's such high anxiety, stress levels are already high, and we've been on heightened alert since October 7th. That's why it's so important for me to stand here and tell the world, based on what we know at this moment, and again, anything can change, there is no sign of terrorist activity with respect to this crash.
Here we have it.
Again, things are moving smoothly here as all the border crossings between Canada and Michigan remain open tonight, and they did not close at all today. So again, there's no backups that are really happening because of that. So reporting live, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Yeah, all right, Jacqueline.
So there we have it. That's what's going on. You saw the car go airborne. The car went up in the sky, went airborne, crashed down, and exploded. But remember, the first reports was the first reports were that the car had a bunch of explosives in it. They said that it was in a particular at a checkpoint, and then they were told to go somewhere else, and then they sped up. But really, it was near the checkpoint, near the bridge, but and also it was on the U.S. side. It was not on the Canada side. So there was a lot of wrong information that came out right away. This is why it pays to wait a little bit to see exactly what's going on. All right, so that's what happened. Now, again, the context was there was a story published on Monday of this week, the 20th of November. 48 hours later, this happens. So it's like, what's going on? Was it a test run? Like, what was that? Just a random event that just happened to happen? And then it just happens to happen right now, right during the holiday weekend, one of the busiest times of the year. There's going to be a lot of travel on that bridge, as is most. You're going to have a lot of travel in general over the weekend. People going to their friends and family or whatever for the Thanksgiving holiday. So it's weird. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Excuse me, that helped me out tremendously. Now, speaking about weird things, George Santos. George Santos, the GOP House rep. Now, I tried to defend George Santos. I was like, nah, he didn't do that. Free George Santos, all this, that, and the third. But this dude is a nut. He really is. I want to play the whole thing about him. Matter of fact, this is what I want to do. Okay. I'm on the YouTube stream. I could do something a little bit different. Okay. Y'all hang with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the clip with Kennedy about the OnlyFans thing, and then I'm going to show you something else. Now, he was confronted by Kennedy earlier this year about having an OnlyFans page. I don't think he was making content on there, and I know we got a PG-13 at best show. So if you don't know what that is, OnlyFans, basically it's an adult website where you can pay to interact with people on there, and I'll leave it at that. I don't know if he was one of the people that was being interacted with, or if he was doing the interacting with others, or both. I can't tell. But what I do know is that we have something here that I want to show. Hold on. And I thought George Santos was LGBT, but there was some women that came out and said that he was subscribed to them. I can't call it. I cannot call it. Let me put the video up of him talking about what he was saying on Kennedy.
Well, he is at very least an enigma, a newly elected lawmaker who has been called a liar and a fraud, who's been accused of faking his way into Congress. But is that the full story? I'm talking about New York Republican Congressman George Santos. Now we've all heard the jokes. He was the first man on the moon. He's won dozens of Olympic medals, and that he taught Eric Clapton how to play guitar. But
the guy really is a con artist. That's really ultimately what it boils down to, allegedly, in my opinion. He was lying about so much stuff, lying about his prior experience. He was lying about a lot. He kind of conned his way into Congress. That's kind of what happened, allegedly, from my point of view. And he was in debt, a degenerate. It's like, my man, you're taking campaign money directly from the campaign, putting it in your bank account. You have credit card debt, personal debt, but you're going to buy luxury items, Hermes, and all kind of just random stuff. It's like, my man, if you are deep in debt like this, why are you stealing money to go buy luxury items? This is dumb. What are you even doing?
Congressman Santos says he's trying to get past all that and do some serious business for the American people. He has recently introduced a few bills, including one that would increase the cap on so-called SALT deductions, which his constituents in New York would love. And that, of course, is the state and local tax deduction. And another that would require the president to undergo an annual cognitive exam. I love that one. But can the congressman get past all the controversy and do good Joining me now to discuss New York Republican Congressman George Santos. George, welcome to the show.
Now, this interview was back when? This was March 30th of this year.
Hi, Kennedy. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely right. So, George, let me ask you, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about you?
Well, you know what, Kennedy, I'm an outsider to politics, and a lot of folks just want to, in the media specifically, try to paint me as the boogeyman. But the reality is the boogeyman is China. The boogeyman is inflation. The boogeyman is the Joe Biden administration, not George Santos. I came here. I'm a boring nerd, dork, whatever you want to call me. I just want to pass legislation that are common sense for our people, especially the people of the 3rd Congressional District of New York. Mm-hmm. My first legislation, as you just said, SALT cap revision to $50,000. Granted that my district is a $45,000 average property tax district. So I'm letting the media, they did their thing. I'm going to get to do my thing in Congress. I'm going to get to write my story. I'll be judged by my work in this body, and I look so much forward to doing that.
Have you apologized for some of the whoppers that you let loose?
You know what? I've relitigated this several times with several different shows. At this point, I feel I don't have to do that anymore. I've said my piece. I just want to get past this and get to work. And that's what I've been doing. My staff, incredible staff that I have, they've been working tirelessly to get this stuff through Ledge Council, through the bureaucracy of DC. And now we're just...
I think there are things that you've potentially said. I'm
gonna get a little bit further into the video. We don't got all day to listen to my man over here just make up stuff, allegedly.
So what I usually say is it's not the first time that somebody's told me I don't belong in net gains, and I'll indulge you this.
So here's the part I want to get to. All right, then we'll move on to something else.
In that caucus.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with what Mitch McConnell said about the AUMF repeal. Speaking of peel, is it true that you have an OnlyFans page and you can peel a banana with your feet?
I don't have one, and it's I'll indulge you this. I just discovered what OnlyFans was about 3 weeks ago when it was brought up in a discussion in my office.
What do you think?
And I was oblivious to the whole concept.
You just can't tell the truth. All right, so how many times have you seen the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah, this guy is a liar. He was a liar, a stone cold liar, a degenerate, because they found the campaign finance, like they did a whole investigation, and then they found that he spent money on OnlyFans subscriptions. Now, here's something right here, okay? And again, PG-13, I'm not going to show nothing crazy, really, but let's check it out. And this person is making an allegation. This may or may not be legitimate, but let's just look at it. So OnlyFans model Layla Lewis claims Rep. George Santos was a subscriber and that she once rated his manhood, okay? So she's saying that he sent her a picture of his stuff and she gave him a rating, allegedly. Now, the part that's kind of unbelievable here is that he was subscribed to a woman. But, the way it is nowadays, you got guys doing a little bit of everything, dipping and dabbing. So I'm not really surprised necessarily, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, let me see. She says, this guy was up to me. I rated his thingamabobber. Asked by followers to make the congressman's rating public, Lewis responded, I think he deleted his account. Okay, so that's a young lady right there that he may have been subscribed to. Okay, he likes BBW, that's totally fine, I ain't tripping. I thought he was LGBT, but maybe likes a little bit of everything. All right, so this guy was up to me. Now, do you guys believe her? Because a lot of these girls, they'll tell you straight lies. These OnlyFans girls, they'll lie for no reason. But the way things are nowadays, man, I kind of believe it. And I saw some screenshots. I don't want to show the screenshots, not because it's inappropriate, but I saw some screenshots where they had some spending. And the spending was like $4,000 for tips and donations to one girl. Another girl had like a stupid amount of money, like $400,000. I know it wasn't that much, but we know that he did spend money on on OnlyFans. That's 100% what they found in the investigation. So how much you spent and who gave it to, that's a little bit of something different. Oh, that's definitely a woman. And a lot of y'all will, hey, you know what? You know what's funny? somebody watching my stream right now is going to go find her. Some of y'all like the plush young ladies. Hey, I'm not no hater. I'm not judging nobody for what they like. That's your business. Okay? If you like it, I love it. That's fine. But somebody's going to go and subscribe. Somebody's going to go and subscribe. Rate me, not him. But anyway, I digress. That's your man, George Santos, a U.S. House rep in the GOP, allegedly stealing campaign money to go do stuff like that. Now, here's what I want to say. In my video, I was talking about how he isn't the only one doing inappropriate things with campaign money, allegedly. This is how DC is. This is how your Barack Obamas and your Joe Bidens and Mitch McConnells and Bernie Sanders are worth millions of dollars when all they really do is politics. If you make $400,000 as a salary as a president, how are you now worth $200 million or whatever it is? How are you worth so much money? Because politics at a certain point, it's about graft. When you get to DC, it's graft. This is why I like Javier Milei, because he's talking about eliminating all these agencies and ministries and red tape and bureaucracy. It's all graft. If you got rid of Department of Education, you wouldn't see a difference. How about that? You got kids that can't even read or write, that can't count to 10, that can't do anything. So what good does the agency do? They keep wanting more and more money, like for the military recruitment. They want more and more money, and they do a worse job from year to year. How do you get rewarded with more money for doing a bad job? It doesn't make any sense. That's DC. It's graft. They take money from your pocket and put it in their own pocket, but they have creative ways of being able to do it. I said in my video, Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar was married to her brother, allegedly, for purposes of immigration. I guess that was fine. Then she was married to her real husband in a religious ceremony, not legally, because she needed that legal marriage available for her family members to get them over. Okay? So she was married to her actual husband through religious only, not legal. She leaves him after like 20-something years, then gets with her consultant, Tim Mynett, the white man. Tim Mynett gets 70% of her campaign funds. Why? Because if she pays a consultant and the consultant then gives the cash back to her, it's not illegal. But if she took the money directly from the campaign and paid herself, that'd be improper. That'd be illegal. That'd be a violation. You see, George Santos just didn't go about it in a creative way like that. He just straight took the money and put it in his pocket. A moron, an idiot. I'm not saying graft is okay, but it happens in DC, and they go about it in a very crafty way. Another one, Maxine Waters, what she does with her money, her daughter is a graphic designer, and she does a lot of her campaign flyers, but she pays her too much money to do the campaign flyers. I know how much that kind of stuff costs because I've done it. I've designed, print, shipped. I've done all that. I know how much it costs. It didn't take millions of dollars. It didn't take millions of dollars to do that. But she pays her that much money as a way to get the campaign money into her own pocket. That's how it goes. That's DC. That is DC. That's why I say the federal government sucks, and I'm going to stand on that. But I digress. Speaking of the federal government sucking, if you guys were in the military and you were discharged because of the C-19, the scamdemic, the vax mandate, do you want to go back? Do you want to go back or nah? I'm going to play that video, and then I'm going to get to the calls in a minute. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's keep on rocking here. Where am I at? I want to go to, let me go over here and pull that video, and then we'll keep on moving forward. But do you guys want to go back? Now, I was reading the comments. A lot of you guys said, no, I'm not going back. Because as I was saying, in the video, a big issue with the military is the leadership, bad leaders, and that hasn't changed. You may be able to come back. And then also a bigger issue I almost missed was, how about that back pay? If you've been discharged for the past 2 years or you didn't re-enlist, can I get some back pay? Can I get an apology with back pay attached to it?
In the meantime, the U.S.
If I was injured by the vax, can I get some recourse there? Are you going to pay me for my injuries? Like, what's going on? Let's watch some of this here.
Army facing repercussions of its COVID-era policy. It says its cuts over vaccine mandates have weakened the size of its force and are now calling on them to come on back to service. Mike Emanuel's got that story live in Washington for us. Mike.
Bill, good morning. The Army kicked out more than 1,900 soldiers for refusing a COVID vaccine. At least 19 of them have now been welcomed back to active.
So you heard that 1,900 soldiers were discharged because of the vax mandate. 19 have come back. Great way to get some guys back on board. 19 out of 1,900. That's a great winning percentage, huh? 1% of the total who were discharged.
Duty. A letter signed by Brigadier General Hope Rampey, Army Director of Personnel Management, says, quote, as a result of the rescission of all current COVID-19 vaccination requirements, former soldiers who were involuntarily separated for their refusal to receive the COVID-19 vaccination may request a correction of their military records. The Army is struggling when it comes to meeting its recruiting goals. Active duty has dropped from 485,000 in 2021 to about 452,000. Its goals for fiscal 2023, which ended at the end of September, was 65,000 new recruits. The Army came up 10,000 short, so Army leadership is outselling service.
We're looking for more, a call to service to come into our ranks, and I think it will accelerate their life. So we'd love to talk about the opportunities to be in the Army or any of the services.
They've also enlisted some VIP help, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson visiting the Pentagon to talk recruiting last week. It is critical, as Pentagon brass expects the Army to play a significant role if there's conflict in Asia.
I tend to think that the Army will have a huge supporting role for the joint force in the Indo-Pacific. And in that regard, what do I mean by that? I think the Army will play a core role in establishing and protecting staging bases for our air forces, for our maritime forces.
Let's pause right here. Now, you get the idea of what's going on. They want you to come back. Hey, you were vaxxed or you didn't want to get the vax and you were discharged as a result. Come on back, man. Water under the bridge. No hard feelings, right? It's all good. But see, can I show you guys a picture? Now, they spoke about the Army specifically in that video, but it's also the Air Force doing it. And I would presume Navy, Marines, they probably do the same thing. But here's a picture from the Army that might make some guys who were in the Army not want to go back. This is a real picture. This is a serious picture. Now, let me see if I can. Yeah, so there's an investigation on soldiers posing in bondage masks. This is a bondage mask. This is some other kind of stuff. And uniform. Now, if that's going on, and then we got guys like Rachel Levine. We got a problem. Maybe that's why they don't want to go back. Okay. Maybe this is why. Okay. Hold on. Your man right here. Let me throw him on the screen. Y'all give me a minute. Maybe, just maybe, this is why they don't want to go back. Just maybe. I'm just throwing stuff out. I'm just kind of spitballing, right? Maybe y'all know better than me. I don't really know what's going on, right? Just maybe. That could be the reason. There's more than just the vax mandate that is keeping guys from the Army, from the Navy, from the Air Force, from the Marines, from the military in general, Coast Guard, everything. There's a lot more to it. So y'all got a long way to go, man. Like the recruitment, And let's not forget, you guys are in 1, 2, 3 different conflicts all over the world. You got Israel, Ukraine, and the newest one they're trying to get into is Taiwan. If they get into Taiwan, man, please, you're gonna be getting tore out the frame. The Chinese, you trying to fight the Chinese? Really? For real? Is that what you want to do, man? Stop. Stop, man. We can't even beat the Chinese over here. Look, how you gonna fight China in their territory, in their neck of the woods, and we can't even fight TikTok? If we're getting stomped out by TikTok and fentanyl, how are we going to go over there and fight them and succeed? And we're in 2 other conflicts. Why would you want to go to the military right now at this moment? I'm not saying that it's not honorable to be in the military. I'm not saying if you're in the military, you should leave. I'm not saying that at all. But if you're a new recruit, 18 years old, out of high school, why? Why? Give me a good reason. I mean, look, I got to be pretty much in Podunkville, nowhere, no education. I got to be kind of like desperate. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, we got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Shout out to Apu Bakar Alpuff Daddy, who says ABL opinion on Taylor Swift, plus or minus for society. I think she's just an entertainer that fits into a certain. She has people that follow her that can relate to her. I don't want to say, she's like the white Beyonce, or I'm not trying. I don't want to get into the race because it's not just young white girls that like Taylor Swift. You got a lot of LGBT, and you got girls of other races. She's like, I'll put it to you this way: she is the music Barbie. That's probably the best way to put it. And a lot of girls had Barbie dolls. That's probably the best way. So she's just entertainment. Taylor Swift is like a Barbie doll. And people just need to have some kind of entertainment, some kind of toy and whatnot in their toy box, essentially. So she's not necessarily bad for society, really. She talks about a bunch of boyfriends and everything else. I mean, I don't really see a big deal. She's a human Barbie. Shout out to Apple again, who says, ABL, you see that rapper chick murked her manager? I saw that. That was crazy. I mean, what in the world? Yo, not only did she, look, I can't show that because she actually deleted her manager on camera. But look, she got hit by a car. I'm talking about hit and ran over by the car. The car hit her and ran her over. She gets up like ain't nothing happened. And then she starts blasting, shooting the old manager and deleting them right there in the street. I mean, you're talking about BT 10,000, BT 5,000. I've never seen that before in my life. A woman getting ran over by a vehicle, getting up and then start shooting. A Terminator, I don't know, man. Like Judge Dredd, RoboCop. Anyway, a machine, a pure machine. Hold on, I gotta play that. I'm sorry, I have to play that. I'm gonna just stop it short of the person getting deleted.
The only on six.
All right, I'm gonna play it. The only, because that was a crazy video. Hold on, watch this.
The only on 6 video exclusively obtained by NBC6 shows.
So that's her right there with the blue jeans and the blonde wig.
The moment rapper Kavani Camilla Hicks.
Okay, so she's blasting right here, but you don't see nobody getting deleted.
Fatally shoots her manager in Wynwood. The shooting happened back in October. The video shows the rapper and another man arguing.
Okay, I can't show that part. She's like shooting them on the ground. Now, that's her.
Her down. At one point, she gets up, walks away, reaches.
Hold on. Okay, here's the car part. Watch this.
Arguing next to a white car. Suddenly gets physical. Two men seen on top of Hicks pinning her down. At one point, she gets up, walks away, reaches into a bag and...
So, yeah, I think she was shooting, got hit by the car, ran over, and then continued to shoot. It's like, what in the world? So, yeah, she's arrested. She got locked up. Yeah, she's in prison now. That's her. Looking like you just got done with slavery yesterday. But anyway.
Police ended up charging the rapper with murder in the second degree. She appeared in court this morning and will soon be released and placed on house arrest with a $50,000 bond. Hicks claims it was all in self-defense.
Boy, oh boy. I'll tell you what, if that is your child's mother or something like that, don't even try to fight, man. Just at that point, man, you might as well just call the police because you're not going to do nothing with her. I ain't trying to get deleted. But she was on the perk. Well, she was on a little bit more than that because, I mean, what in the world? Are your legs not broken? What's happening? Anyway, Apple also says ABL Thanksgiving plans, turkey, stuffing, gravy. That remains to be seen. Shout out to Apple again who says, ABL, when you play Mario Kart, which character are you? It don't really matter. I've not played Mario Kart in a long time, actually. And I have it. I have the most recent Mario Kart for the Switch, but I've not played that in a long time. It don't even really matter, man. Give me the Toad, give me Mario. It don't really matter. Shout out to you for the super chat. Michael Critchlow says, thoughts and prayers to Owen Short, who would spend Thanksgiving on a 23-hour lockdown in federal prison. The powers that be are corrupt. Free Owen. U.S. flag. Thank you for your super chat, man. Definitely appreciate you. Michael Merriweather says she's control opposition. Why not back GOP? Shout out to Blast Radius who says Eric Adams, the cream of wheat man, is an absolute disaster and incompetent. Every black Democrat mayor has been a disaster. Chicago, Baltimore, New York, Philly. We can go on down the list. Shout out to Monique Price who says I identify as a cousin. I got you. Shout out to you, Monique. I appreciate you. Shout out to Lawther and Monique. I'm going to hit you back. We're going to get started, all right? Thank you to Lawther who says, Javier Milei and Rand Paul, they do like their chainsaws. Viva Revolucion, anarchism, libertarianism all the way. Shout out to Triad 716 who says, shout out to all the hardworking people that spent all year grinding to provide for their families. Happy Thanksgiving, ABL and family. Shout out to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, sir. Shout out to Bobcat MIT who says, YouTube screens out this comment. TDS is real. It's crazy. That's how it goes, ain't it? Shout out to Lawther who says, why was the OnlyFans? He said, what was the OnlyFans again? I bet you do want to get that one, huh? Get the BBL in your life. Yeah, BBL, your BBW. Oh, and I didn't even cover the story about the lady that got the BBL and the breast implants. I mean, that's crazy. Totally crazy. I mean, what in the world? You go for skin tightening treatment and they give you breast implants and the BBL. I mean, the language barrier. Come on, man. Tu habla español? No. Duolingo, please. Google Translate, please. Don't get that kind of thing messed up. I need you to be 100% on the same page with me, okay? And thank you to Lawther again who says, ever since Vietnam, more people are going to be hesitant to be in the military. I can see why the youth is hesitant to join the military. Yeah, and the left used to believe this. Right on. And shout out to you guys for being here. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype in the description box. You could be right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And if it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man like the lady from the Marvels did with Bob Iger. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. Yeah, that BBL ain't no joke to heal from, though. I mean, have you ever seen somebody heal from a BBL? I would show you guys a picture, but it's a little bit too graphic. It's really bad. A BBL surgery is much more difficult to heal from because, I mean, you're going to have a whole lot going on. You got to wear the faja. You got a lot happening. And they gave her breast implants at the same time with BBL. At 65 years old, when you get older, it's harder for you to heal from anything. If you break your leg at 15 years old versus 65 years old, it's going to be a healing process that's a little bit different. You could break your leg and be just fine at age 15, but 65, it's a little bit different. 978, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's good, ABL? It's Eric. I'm just calling about Milei from Argentina. I really like what he's doing. Argentina needed a change, pretty much. Like the way they went, it was like extremely to the left, and I honestly think there's nothing he can do to make it worse. And everything that he's saying that he's gonna do sounds good. I just hope he does it. I don't know if you have anything to say about him, if you have seen him much.
Yeah, I like what he's talking about. He's a libertarian guy, so there's some things I'm not really necessarily on the same page with him on. But generally,
Right.
I like what he's talking about. I like him, and they need to change. And I think if you keep doing the same old thing over and over, you're not going to get anything really positive as a result. So I like what he's doing, and I hope that he has success.
Right.
I hope that he is able to dollarize the economy, and that makes a difference. I hope that his reforms, especially the biggest thing I like about him, he wants to reduce the size of the government. All these useless ministries.
Exactly.
Yeah, the bureaucracy, the red tape. I want that here in the USA for sure.
I wish that happened here too. I just feel like we have too many of them. Like we don't need all that. Like in each state, it should just be one institution for the whole U.S., not one in each state. Like that could be funds for all of us. Like that's all going from taxpayers, And another thing, I'm a Latino. I'm from the Latino community, and me personally and a lot of my friends, we're just sick of all these woke nonsense. They're just pushing it on us, and even on school now they're giving us names that like don't even make sense. Like I don't know if you heard about the whole Latinx thing.
It makes no
sense. If you speak Spanish, yes, if you speak Spanish, that stuff makes no sense at all. And it's being pushed by people that don't speak the language, don't understand it. Yeah, man, it just makes me sick. Like it just really makes me sick because anyone that speaks the language, it knows that like every single item, like every object, it's either male or female. If you try to change that, you're gonna destroy the whole language, pretty much. That's the same thing that they say in France. They were trying to do that in France, and thankfully they blocked that.
Yeah, it's silly
because it's a Romance language. It's like 4 or 5 languages. There are Romance languages, I believe, and they are all alike, but like they're similar in that way. So yeah, if you try to do that, man, you're gonna screw up the whole language, pretty much.
Exactly, 100% correct.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking my call, man. I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep informing the young people, man, because I feel like there's a movement. Like that was a start for Latin America. I feel like there's going to be a big wave coming in the Caribbean. There's a lot of leaders that are coming up, and this is a start, man. Thanks for doing what you're doing.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, shout out to the caller, and he's right on point about the language because I'm on Duolingo trying to, get my Spanish tightened up. I know some French and Spanish and a little bit of other languages as well, but in my lessons, everything is okay. You got la or el and los. It's like everything is masculine and feminine. Okay, everything, the whole language. Abuela, abuelo, niña, niño. What are you going to do next? Say nin X, abuel X? It makes no sense because your word for grandma and grandpa is gone now. It's just dumb. It's dumb. It's literally silly. Let's keep on going. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL, what's up, bud? How's it going?
Everything's all right, man. How about yourself?
Oh, Argentina has a brand new leader, and I am so happy. I am so happy, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Right on.
Dude, bro, I'm going to go out and buy myself a chainsaw, man. And did you see my meme on Facebook?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, man. I posted up, like, a meme of, like, Rand Paul and I'm sorry, I'm half asleep right now. But, man, I'm happy, man. Loving the show, bro. I'll talk to you later, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. And shout out to you guys for being here as well. Just say, I am. Yeah, my French, I'm probably better at French than Spanish. But my Spanish, I'm gonna just really get into it. My goal is to be if I get some the Peggy Hill Spanish is not that bad. Well, it was kind of bad. I want to get a step beyond Peggy Hill. I want to go to a Mexican restaurant and be able to order and not have to be speaking English. That's what I want to do. Okay. That's my goal. And then I want to be able to get beyond that. And then I want to get deeper into it. French and Spanish is what I want. With the way things are going, I might need to learn some Chinese as well. You know, more than she, all of that. I need to learn some real phrases. And because if we get the Chinese over here, it's going to be a wrap. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to, all right, 406 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hi, this is Brian in Kalispell, Montana. I'm just calling to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys' good work. Keep up the good news, man. Love it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Copy that.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. I appreciate that. Thank you to all you guys for being here. Let's keep on going. 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. Good coverage in the show. Yeah, I think that basically that now seeing the video of that car, it does seem like a strange accident. But of course, like, I don't know what I don't know. It's possible it could be a dry run, but it could have been a strange accident. And I think it's kind of a mystery right now.
Yeah, it's definitely some mysterious things going on. They said it was a New York driver, but whose car was it? What was going on? Like, let's get some more information, some more details, and then we can figure out what's really happening.
Right, because when I heard that happening, I thought they just drove something somewhere and exploded it, like the World Trade Center 93. But yeah, this seems like something different, and I'm sure they would probably try different things. And also, it's a concerning situation. We all would be paranoid in the country because of the stuff that's going on over there. It could cause people, obviously to be radicalized to do stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Right. And also, I think that it's really cool that guy in South America won the election. And I like you, I don't agree with everything he thinks, but I do think it's good that he won and that it's going in a better direction down there, because they've had there's a big history of socialism, and it's destroyed a lot of the countries there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the West in general is like that. Like the Western Hemisphere, it's been suffering from socialistic policies, and also culturally as well, it's been going in a bad direction. Like the nuclear family is collapsing, and all kinds of things are going in the opposite direction. And I think that most people in the West have had enough of it.
Yeah, people are tired of it. They are not only tired of the social things that are going on that are pretty crazy, but also the things with the economy, obviously, because people are having a hard time being able to pay simple bills, being able to pay food. Just day-to-day living is not the way it should be. And people are starting to realize that, hey, we got to do something else here, because this is not going to work out well for us.
Exactly. And that is something that, I've been noticing as, time has been going on, that with all the different foreign wars that they're getting into and all the money they're sending to these different countries, they're not helping their own country. And with the inflation going up, like what happened in Germany, it's like with the dollar going down, it's causing people to have so much problems. Like there's so much homeless people. There's people struggling to make ends meet. Like back, say, in the 80s or 90s or before that, people could buy a house better. But now people aren't able to buy a house the same way as they used to back then because of inflation.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going through the roof. I mean, even in the past couple of years, my house now is totally different. It went up in value, and also the interest rate went up. So it'd be way too expensive now compared to like 2 years ago. So then go back 20 years, it's gotten out of control.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also, like you were talking earlier about how people want to legalize drugs and stuff. And, you know, when people do that and they take the little baby steps and the whole area goes downhill, and you know, because you experienced that.
Absolutely.
Right. And yeah, because Bean and I were talking in chat about how like Europe like was trying to make America look bad, but America's the best place to go, and Europe has a lot of problems of its own that it needs to take care of before it criticizes, you know, things over here and try to do strawman stuff.
Right on.
Right. And something I want to tell you about that I found out is that the North Koreans had this video of that Americans are like all homeless in tents, and they eat we all eat birds, and we drink coffee made out of snow, and it's just, you know, they have really stupid propaganda over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because they could tell them anything because they're living in basically the Matrix, and they can't really escape. Yeah. So whatever they get told, that's what they're going to believe. They have no other way of knowing anything else.
Exactly. And yeah, because it also doesn't snow in every part of the country, and it's really ridiculous. And I think also like people on the left over here, they're obviously in the Matrix because they want to implement these socialistic policies, and it's destroying our country. It destroyed all the other countries that it touched. And I just don't understand why people like my age group don't see that the communism destroyed people over the world. I don't know, you know, what their problem is.
Yeah, I can't really tell.
Right. And also, that's all I have to say for this call. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for the call, man. Same to you.
Okay, bye.
So great call. Shout out to my man for the call. That's Alien Spaceship. Appreciate you guys for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the ticker that comes across the bottom of the screen and also in the description. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. All right. Let's go. 424. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 424. Hello. I think 424 might be having an issue. 424. Hello.
Hey, ABL.
Yes.
Hey, this is Kyla from Los Angeles.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, just wanted to run something by you real quick. So earlier I had company over, and I played your video, the one where it said we were low in numbers with the military, and they were going to bring back people if they wanted to come back who were unvaxxed. And so I said, we're low in numbers. I said, we've opened it up, and I put this in the chat. I said, we've opened it up to the LGBTQ. I believe trans can join. So, and we're still low in numbers. I said, we have a problem with that because if everybody can pretty much join and we're still low, that's terrible. It was proposed by one of my guests. She said, well, since they're letting all the illegal immigrants come over here, they're getting free health care, they're getting food stamps, they're getting a lot of benefits, they're going to be able to vote since we don't have voter ID. Let's put them to work and make them join the military so they can earn their keep in this country. What do you think?
The funny part is that they're already doing that. I mean, it's not conscription, but they already are having illegal aliens in the military. That's already happening. And
oh, that's happening. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like they give them a deal. So it's like, okay, you want to come to the country, you want to, and I'm not sure about the exact way it works out. So the chat, please help me out. But they do already do that. It's just not conscription where they're forced to do it.
Okay. Oh, so they're doing it so they may be doing it voluntary. So they're not like in the old school driving around and throwing them on the truck and making them go to like training. No.
Yeah, not quite. Not quite.
Okay. I'm gonna tell her what you said. In fact, I'm gonna send her your show. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, because I was reading about that before. I saw an interview with somebody. The guy came across the border. It's like, hey man, you want some citizenship? I think they get citizenship. You guys, please correct me. I don't want to say the wrong thing on here, but I have heard it before. The key is just that you're not forced. So do you get citizenship? Let me look it up right quick. Legal alien military citizenship. Watch this. Federal law allows foreign-born individuals who serve on active duty or in any reserve components, such as Navy Reserve or the Army National Guard, to naturalize and secure U.S. citizenship after completing 1 year of honorable service during peacetime or immediately if serving during designated periods of conflict, war. So that's already happening. Or they say hostility, such as the War on Terror, which began on September 11 and continues. So basically, from what I'm reading right here on this website, if you join the military now, boom, you're a citizen. Yep. So, and we got a bunch of war age men right now. So are we going to bolster the military like that? I don't really know. All right. So, hey, you get rewarded. Break the law, you get rewarded. It's a huge security flaw. Absolutely. Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it's clearly a huge security flaw, especially with the wide open border. We can get terrorists, all kind of stuff coming across, joining the military. Oh, the military is, you got gang members, active members of gangs in the military, cartel in the military, all of that. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, it's up in the Xbox. How you doing, brother?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, doing all right. Thought I was joking about the illegal aliens all of a sudden taking over our military.
Oh, yeah, they're here.
Not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So, finally, Elon Musk caught up with me. He has finally determined that the DNC, the Uniparty, is a death cult. Okay, let me run down the checklist, if I may, sir.
All righty.
Okay. Democrats, death cult. And I just want to throw out a quick disclaimer. I don't care what your lifestyle is. You do you, Buttercup. Okay? I'm a live and let live kind of guy. As long as you leave my kids alone. Because then I turn. All right. So, homosexuals equal extinction through the lack of reproduction of offspring. Transgender surgeries on children, removing children's abilities to produce offspring. Mandatory vaccination, which now there are reports on government websites, NIH, CDC, of, oh, ladies, you don't have to make abortion rights the big issue for this coming presidential election. Oh, no, honey. It's going to be 1,300% stillborn and 900% miscarriages. You're going to be lucky if you can get and stay pregnant, darling, let alone have to worry about an abortion. You won't be needing to worry about that if you're vaccinated. And those are off. You could go to the government. And myocarditis. Oh, yeah, I'm 63 years old. I've heard of myocarditis since 18 months ago.
Right.
So, LeBron James. I didn't like his mouth running, but I am truly empathetic towards the damage done to his son. And it breaks my heart because as much as I don't really care for LeBron James, I would never want anything bad to happen to his kids.
That's right.
But that's the world we're living in. Okay, our government has allowed millions of military men to flood into the country, military-age men, has allowed metric tons of fentanyl to be brought in, lost 30 tons of ammonium nitrate. I don't know if people out there understand, but you mix it with some minor, easy-to-grab chemicals, and you got a bomb. And that's what was used on the federal building out west, Tennessee McVeigh. Also with the vax, you got the spike protein attacking the ovaries and testes. So kids are finding out that they may be sterile. So yes, and it was the Democrats that made the vaccines mandatory. It's mandatory. You got to get it. You have to get it to protect me. You wearing a bulletproof vest is going to stop me from getting shot. Mm-hmm. Yep, sure does. That's how life works. But I don't know. I just thought I'd throw all that out there, you know. And and ever since the 70s when I was a teenager and I discovered homosexuality and figured out what it was, and it just ain't for me. But I never hated homosexuals. I always looked at it like this. I always try to find the good in everything. That's two well-groomed, fashion sense, color match, coordinated guys that are off the market for women. So my chances just got better. And that's how I've always looked at it. ABL, you take care, brother. Have a good night. God bless America. Take care.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to you guys in the building for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. So Greg McNeely says, not illegal immigrants, recruited in the Army for 2 years. Okay, so is it people that are here on a visa? Like, what is it? Because I'm reading this right here. It says foreign-born individuals. It says federal law allows foreign-born individuals who serve on active duty or in any reserve component, such as the Navy Reserves or Army National Guard, to naturalize and secure U.S. citizenship after completing 1 year of honorable service during peacetime. So now, let me see. So what, like, are you going to be here under some kind of visa? Dreamer, like what is the actual qualifications? 914 on line, who am I speaking to?
Okay. Oh, so they're doing it so they may be doing it voluntary. They
914, hello.
Old school, driving around and
914, hello.
Go to like training.
Okay, when you call the show, please ready to answer the phone. Do not look at the screen. It's not going to be, and you're kind of way behind. So keep your ear to the phone. Talk to me on the phone. Don't talk to the stream. It's going to be a delay. All right. So shout out to you guys for calling. I really appreciate y'all. Happy Thanksgiving early. Hopefully you guys are able to enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday for sure. All right. And yeah, just keep your ear to the phone when you call in and you'll be good to go. So I'm reading some of the things here. It said not an illegal immigrant, but what is the actual? Somebody said they don't care. Yeah. I'm reading some things here about the illegal aliens. Let me see. Undocumented immigrants are generally barred from serving in the military, though occasionally, especially in times of military need. So, but sometimes it's like, hey man, come on. Like at a time right now where you got very low recruitment, hey man, just go over there to the migrant places in New York, Chicago, whatever. Yo, come on the train right now. Join the Army, be all you could be. Let's go to 414. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Crystal.
All righty, what's going on?
All right, I just called in to ask two quick light questions as we sit at the door of Thanksgiving. First question, I remember you saying you eat one meal a day. Do you make exceptions for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
That's a really good question. Not really, because if I eat on, like if I go to my family's house for Thanksgiving, it's gonna be one meal. Really, they don't really eat. They may eat throughout the day, but I don't. I go for the actual dinner where everybody's at the table watching the game or whatever, and I eat right there, and I'm good. And I don't, because what'll happen is some people will try to like sneak little bites in when they cooking, and then they eat for their dinner, and then they have more later. I have my dinner, and then I'm good.
Okay. And then last question, what are you most thankful for as 2023 comes to an end?
Freedom. That's the main thing. Freedom to do what I really enjoy doing. Freedom to help people. Just freedom to be myself. That's the main thing I'm thankful for is freedom.
Awesome. Well, that's it for me. I appreciate your show. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll sit back and enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
Those are great questions. Yeah, I'm definitely the freedom. That's my main thing. Freedom as an American, and that's one thing that I really want to hold on to. I don't want to let go of my freedom as an American, but as a person, individually, I feel very free, and that's a very important thing to have is the freedom. Absolutely. But yeah, on Christmas and Thanksgiving, I don't really eat that much either. I have a plate, maybe a plate and some change. But what I'll also do, if I want to eat a little bit more on Thanksgiving, not as far as multiple meals, but maybe like a bigger portion than normal, I'll eat fewer calories the day before. So, like sometimes what I do, if I know I'm gonna go to a restaurant and it may be, I don't know, maybe a bigger portion than normal, or I could eat that. Or let's say, for example, I know kind of what I want to eat on a certain day, and it might be a little bit bigger portion. I'll just have a lower portion the day before, so it can kind of even out. I have some sushi, raw sushi, and it's about 300 calories or something like that. And then I know the next day I can eat a little bit more. That's kind of how I rock. And I've been able to keep my weight consistent for a long time. 215 right there on the dot. If I go up a pound, I know I can just reduce it by lowering my calorie count. If I go down 2 or 3 pounds, I can just increase and go right back to my weight I want to be. Yeah, and I know if I go down too much, now I got to go to the doctor or something's wrong. You know, but I've not had that kind of thing happen. Deep fried turkey is really good. Shout out to the deep fried turkey. And please, if you guys are deep frying turkey, you know by now to let the turkey thaw before you put it in the deep fryer, because I don't want anybody to burn their house down on Thanksgiving trying to deep fry a turkey for the first time. Please thaw the turkey out before you fry it. Yeah, don't go out there in the backyard and burn your house down. Ain't nobody got time for that in 2023. That's not what we do. We don't burn houses down trying to get the deep fried turkey, which is very good, by the way. Shout out to the turkey. I've not cooked a turkey yet for Thanksgiving. I've not cooked Thanksgiving meal. I've not cooked a meal yet for Thanksgiving. I always go to somebody's house. Like I've not done a big. I've never done that. I always go somewhere else. I'm 6'3". Somebody asked how tall I was. I'm 6'3". Yeah. 12 hours a day fasting works well. Yeah, absolutely. 12 hours a day fasting works very well. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And then also it's key to have just portion control. That's the big thing. Don't eat too much food. People just eat food all day. They just chow down, pig out all day long. And if you do fast and you have your meal, you just gorging. Red meat, stuff like that. I've realized as I get older, I don't really do good with red meat like that because it just sits in my stomach. I can't really digest it. It's just not really good. I like to have leaner meat, fish, chicken, lean chicken, stuff like that, but really a lot of fish. That's what I'm really into as far as meat. And then I may not eat meat every day. And if I do eat meat, it's going to be a small portion. Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten down to lower than I've gotten down to like 180. I was way too I was like a beanpole for real. I was like right now if you see me, I look pretty thin. But when I was 180, I look like this right here with a head. I was like that. That's me. You see this is on the top of my head. I got a big head, right? And then here's my body, just like a little stick holding my head up. Like a Pez dispenser. That's how I looked like when I was 180. But now I look like regular. Yep. Somebody said I sound like Trump, 6'3", 210. Yeah, shout out to Trump. It's like Trump, I don't know about that. Well, you might be telling the story with that one, man. That might not be your weight. Really, Trump? It's like, come on, boss. I mean, we love you, man, but you don't gotta lie, man. It's okay. You don't gotta say you 215 when you really bought 245 pounds. It's fine. 470, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, peace, ABL. It's man. How's it going, my friend?
Everything's good, man. What's going on with yourself?
Hey, man, I'm glad to be an American today. Lovely show as always. Wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. A buddy of mine, he's been in the military now for, I want to say, the better part of a decade. And the things that he tells me as far as what goes on in the military, the average American would be so shocked. There's pimping that goes on in the military. Like you said, there's gangs. The idea of mafia and organized crime couldn't be further from the average ideology of an American considering the military. And it's just so wild that it's like the vermin has encroached just every part of our country, whether it's the political governmental side or even the badge, whether that's local, so your police, or your international, which is the military. It's really outstanding to me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like people kind of live in their world. They know what they see as far as friends, family, just what's around them. But the things that are really going on in this country that you don't see every day, it'd really shock you if you knew. But I've seen so much of this stuff just from doing what I do, from covering stories and talking to people and just being around, being in the street. It's crazy. It's totally crazy.
I totally agree with you. You made a comment earlier about the car situation that happened earlier, as far as the Niagara Falls situation.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you, you speak on this often, and so do a lot of the people that I follow on YouTube. Just how easy it is for the mainstream media to create this dialogue of red alert when they're trying to push something. I was watching a video with I believe the guy's name is his name escapes me now. Oh, Roger Stone. He had something with another YouTube channel earlier this week, and he mentioned that one of the chances for the Democrats to retain the White House would be if there was a traumatic event that happened in the country. And it just made me think, like, wow, they use something so small and they run with the idea, and who knows what this can create in the future for your average everyday American just trying to get along, and now they have to worry about this extra thing on top of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's how it goes, because, I mean, look, 9/11, before that, there was no TSA. And ever since we had it, and they're not going anywhere. That's permanent now.
I'm so glad I remember what that was before that happened, how easy it was. You used to be able to just go to the gate. You didn't have to have a flight out. If you wanted to greet your guests coming, and you could go to the gate. Those days are gone.
Yep, totally gone.
And by the way, last part, you get real ill on Twitter, man. I notice the things that you be posting, and a lot of them I agree with, but I just start laughing, especially when it comes in to consideration with older women and the type of men that we have out here, and the lack of drive as far as taking women out on certain dates. You won't disclose where you take your women to, but I gotta tell you, man, spending $200 on a first date is nuts.
Oh no,
I don't even know if I like you yet.
No, you don't gotta spend that much money on the first date. $200. I'm cheap. I don't even like going to Cheesecake Factory, not because it's a bad place, but because it costs too much. I like to take
agree.
you. Yeah, I take women to places that's not family oriented, like Applebee's, Olive Garden. These are nice restaurants, but they're more for families. You're gonna see Pawpaw Meemaw there, and little kids and whatnot. You got to take her to a romantic environment that's not going to break the bank. It'll cost just as much as a regular restaurant, but you got to just set the mood, so it ain't like you taking your friend or your cousin out for the birthday party. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. You got to make it seem unique and make it seem like you really put some thought in it. At the end of the day, it's a lot of it is not the value; it's the amount of thought that you put into it that really brings, an admiration for the total situation.
Yep.
Anyhow, brother, happy Thanksgiving to you, And thank you for all that you do. You take it easy.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you. All right, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, that's always the thing. That's why I want to do my second channel, because I can talk about stuff like that. Like this channel, I want to keep it the way it's been. I want to keep it about social, political. That's what I want to do on this channel. But on the other one, talk about some other stuff. You know, the $200 dates. Those things are so fascinating to me. It's like, you don't got to spend that much money on the date. Why would you do that? I'm not spending that much money on a date, period. I don't care. You got to be about to be married for something like that to happen. And that's not going to be common. Even if I was married, like when I was married, that wasn't really like an everyday thing. That's like a occasional, okay, special occasion. You're going to go ball out. But it's regular every day. No, I ain't spending that much money on no date. Are you high on drugs? Yeah. Boston market, is that where are we going? Yeah, but you know, when I was a young man, and it's different if you're young. When you're young, you just starting to get started. It really, you know, you do what you can. But for me at my age, about to be 40, I mean, come on. Like, if you're like 40 years old and you trying to go to like ice cream parlors, kind of, I don't, you know, nah. Nice little romantic place, Italian restaurant. I could spend $75 max at a nice restaurant, and it'd be beautiful. It'd be great. Do I have Rumble? Rumble, I don't. People always say about Rumble, but Rumble is kind of useless. Shout out to Rumble. I'm not saying they're a bad website, but it's like putting stuff over there is like putting stuff in the shoebox. I want to be on the mainstream social media websites. It doesn't make sense to go there. What I'm going to do is create another channel, because my content won't really be risky. It'll just be different. And I don't want to confuse people. I don't want to have a channel where it's built on social political issues, mostly political. And then I start talking about dates and all that. I want to have a separate channel for that. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the Uncle ABL. That's going to be about more relationship type and just really like self-improvement. You know, a prime example would be how to eat properly. That'd be a topic over there. That'd be a thing. Your diet, how to eat, 1 meal a day. I could talk about that kind of stuff. Nutrition, how to lose weight, how to maintain your weight. Exercise, on how to exercise, how to do calisthenics, how to do 100 push-ups a day. I can teach you that over there. But over here, it'd be kind of confusing to keep all that content on one place. Yeah, so I'm gonna have the separate channel for that. Yeah, I could do both, and I'll do both, but separately, and build that channel up as well. Yeah, that'd be kind of how it goes. All right. So that's what's happening. But yeah, I feel pretty good. Like the main thing about people, and a lot of people my age I went to school with, man, like a lot of them are having medical problems. It's like you got to be on top of your health. Be on top of your health. That's very important. Will you watch that, Brickyard? Why, thank you. So I'm definitely going to do that. I know I've been talking about it for a long time. I'm definitely going to do it. And shout out to you guys that have been supporting me and my endeavors to make that new channel happen. I really want to do that for sure. But yeah, I'm not going to go the Andrew Tate route. Shout out to him. I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying I talk about a lot of different things that it's just this channel, I need a new channel for. And I want to build that one up and make it be what it's going to be. A preaching channel? No, I ain't going to be preaching. I'm not a preacher. I'm not one of those guys. I'm just going to give different advice. I'm going to talk about different things. I talk about a lot of different things. You know, I'm not one dimensional. I talk about a lot of different things. So that'd be what that channel is for. But I mean, it's not for everybody. You know, everybody might not want that kind of content. Some may just want the political content. And again, that's why it'll be over there. So if you just want to talk about, you know, the news of the day, things of that nature, which I really, really enjoy, keep it over here. If you want to talk about some other stuff, where to take a first date, how to do push-ups, sit-ups, how to keep yourself in shape, how to lose weight naturally without taking drugs, you know, a clean lifestyle, go over there. Beef, greens, real fruit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of beef, but beef is okay, but people eat too much. You got to have your portions. Beef is cool, but in portions. That'll be my thing. Yeah. Like, I have this kind of energy right now off of one meal. I had some PF Chang's today. I had some lo mein with a little bit of beef, some shrimp and chicken, but most of the noodles, a bowl, and then that's it. That was my meal today, and I'm good money. You need a whole video on how to digress. I can do that. ABL home economics. Yeah, that might be it, Juvenile. ABL home ec. That might be what I do. All right. So shout out to you guys. I really appreciate y'all. Let's keep on rocking here. 773, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. ABL, I can't talk too long because, I'm on that diet where you eat every 8 minutes. So far it's not really working, but they tell me it will. ABL, as you know about addiction, even though I was a police officer, I do have a certain amount of empathy for some of these people that are addicted. And I'll tell you why. Is because there comes a point, and, also the fentanyl thing was a little bit after my time, slightly after my time. Mostly it was heroin. But, I dealt with a lot of junkies, as you can imagine. And there are some that are just tired of being addicted. It's no longer fun. It messes with their lives. It messes with their health. And they just can't get out from under it. I know a prostitute, and these are not, these are street prostitutes, out on the street, jumping in any car. You get to know these people. And she asked me, can you drive me to the rehab center? Which was a good, let's say 5 miles away. No problem. I'll drive you to the rehab center. I drove her to the rehab center. All right, good luck and everything else. I went and took a couple of calls that we did. By the time I got back to that, to the street, that area of the street, she was back out on the street. I asked her what happened, and she was just like, I felt too sick. I got to get straight, meaning she needed her drugs.
Yeah.
Later on, I kind of found out that a lot of drug dealers hang around the rehab center in order to catch some of the people that change their mind about rehab or that come out of rehab. That's why in these rehab centers, once you leave the center, they won't let you come back in because they don't want you going out and getting high and everything else. But who knows what the solution is? Here's what I hate, ABO. The left never gives you a moment to say, I told you so. And what I mean by that is all these policies that they were saying 2 years ago. Oh, we're a sanctuary city. Bring in your people. We want to see them do good, and everything. All these policies. Now there's tents all over and everything else, and now they want to make changes. But what about the "I told you so"? They make it like this is somebody else. Somebody else created this problem, and now they're here to solve it. No, you created the problem in the first place. And now you're trying to solve it, but that's not the way to solve it. And I just hate that they don't see that, I told you so moment. It's kind of ridiculous. It really is. And, I hate to see what's happening to our country. I really do. We'll see what happens. I don't know what else to do. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, ABL. And I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Fantastic call. And that'll be a wrap for the calls for tonight. Thank y'all again for being here. Happy Thanksgiving early. Hopefully you guys are safe if you are traveling. And if you're not, just enjoy yourself. Just relax, take a chill pill, and be good. But I'll be back live again on Saturday. I will be here. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back live with you guys, and I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing tonight, if you like what you've heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or Just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And again, thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. All right. I got some super chats to read. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Shout out to, let me see. Shout out to Lawfare who says, sorry, my short call roommate was trying to make me laugh and I got aggravated. I sounded dumb when I was trying to hold back. Also, you had a channel that did movie reviews. You know what? I had ABL Gaming. I think I did movie reviews on ABL Gaming. I do remember that. Yeah, I did movie reviews over there. So maybe I'll just use that. I might just use that channel because I forgot. You know what? Thank you, man, because I forgot that I did other things aside from gaming on that channel. I might just take that channel since it's already monetized and ready to roll. I might just take that channel and use it to do Uncle ABL. So that might be what I do. I might just rebrand that and go about it that way. Hopefully they don't try to, hate on me for that. But I had forgotten all about that. So I may still do some movie reviews and entertainment stuff over there. But a lot of that on that channel is going to be about self-improvement and just different types of topics that I want to talk about that will be suitable for a different channel. So that'll be what I do over there on that particular page. And again, you guys enjoy your holiday. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Hopefully you get a nice, good meal. Don't eat too much, regulate it. Don't drink too much of that spiked eggnog. Shout out to everybody that got eggnog with the alcohol in it when they were 5 years old. Shout out to all the parents. I ain't going to tell nobody. It's between me and you. But enjoy yourself. And I'll be back live again on Saturday. And I'm putting out videos every single day. I got some more stuff coming out tomorrow. I got a really big story about Rashida Tlaib. Oh, quick preview. I got a story about this guy running for Senate in Michigan who was offered $20 million to drop out and run against Rashida Tlaib in the House. Funny how that works and funny where the money came from as well. But I'll talk about that a different day. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.